Besson, directrice de la réalisation sur Rainbow Six Siege. Oui, Siege a toujours été défini par son gameplay tactique, le travail en équipe et aussi la variété des opérateurs que les joueurs ont appris à connaître et reconnaître au fil des années. Ces collaborations nous donnent l'occasion en fait d'amener les éléments emblématiques de Siege dans un nouvel univers tout en restant fidèle à ce qui les rend uniques.
In this collaboration, we focus on two things: operators and the Rainbow Six Siege's iconic visual legacy. We selected 3 operators pairings who share the same combat philosophy.
I'll be there you need me.
말보다는 행동이지.
Call if you need a hand.
For classic Siege elements, we choose to honor Black Ice, the Drone, and the Alpha Pack.
Ce qui était essentiel pour nous de préserver dans la collaboration, c'était l'identité, l'authenticité de nos personnages. C'est ce qui les rend uniques. On a travaillé main dans la main avec l'équipe de Delta Force pour s'assurer que l'authenticité de Siege, l'identité de Siege s'intègre naturellement dans leur jeu.
Both games share a realistic art direction, and finding distinct recognition within that shared aesthetic was actually the harder challenge. We started by preserving the core silhouette and the color framework of Siege operators. Doc and Motin's iconic deep navy uniforms, Vigil's signature custom-fitted gear, these stay true. At the same time, within the finer details, we evolve in Delta Force identity. They wear patches from both teams. Motin carries Cineva's badge. Doc has medical kits at his side. To faithfully recreate Black Ice, we focused our material work on internal ice fracture patterns to capture the distinctive texture and cold, austere feel of original.
Oui, en effet, Black Ice résonne énormément avec notre communauté. C'est une cosmétique d'armes qui a énormément plu à nos joueurs. Et l'équipe de Delta Force a fait vraiment un travail incroyable pour la recréation dans leur jeu de cette cosmétique, avec un souci du détail extrêmement gratifiant.
We employed a dual-layer material system combined with subsurface scattering lighting model. Using camera vectors and a depth texture to offset UV calculations, we achieved the effect of refractor patterns appearing to exist deep inside ice.
Et ce qu'on a apprécié et ce qui nous a impressionné, c'est le travail de recherche de Delta Force. À quel point ils ont été soucieux du détail pour conserver nos opérateurs dans leur jeu, qui s'intègrent vraiment comme naturellement dans leur univers.
Beyond the content itself, we want as many players as possible to access and experience this collaboration. By completing in-game missions during the season, you can unlock these rewards for free. One more thing, in the new operations map, we've prepared something special for you. You will find a surprise in the maps that are meant just for you. Once the crossover goes live, go find them. Once more, onto the bridge.
Dear friends, once more.
We've received an emergency transmission from Hadawi, a Havoc nuclear engineer. Patching through.
This is AC-3 facility. Reactor 2 has been sabotaged. Havoc internal forces can't handle this threat anymore. You're all I've got left.
Running blind on intel for the AO. This region is at high risk of a nuclear incident. Keep the following in mind. Shoot, loot, then time to scoop.
The signal is clear. Take action. It's okay here. Not too cold.
Experiment 66 is projected to conclude in T-minus 3 hours. All units submit safety risk assessments on schedule.
I've got a reading.
No hazmat suits? Raise them!
Let's make it quick.
Enjoy the bomb!
so eager to die. Excellent.
I don't know what's happening, but reactor output is still climbing. And security thinks I'm behind this. They're coming for me. GTI, move it, now!
Key verified. Access granted. Hostile signal detected. Lethal action authorized.
Damn it! Someone take control of this piece of junk!
Entering manual mode. Executing command.
Those bastards in fusion research won't authorize shutdown because of their experiment timeline. I know better than anyone how important this research is. Hold this position. Once I finish calibration, use that console to insert the control rods immediately. Data set. Follow me. I know somewhere the signal can get through.
Steam explosion at reactor 2. Incident level confirmed. Estimated contamination radius.
Careful! Don't fall! We're outside the signal blackout zone. Upload the data package to Skynet immediately. Encryption keys in the archive. Just send it!
Critical alert. Reactor power output has critically exceeded safety thresholds. Core meltdown imminent. All personnel evacuate immediately. Priority alert. Hydrogen explosion at reactor 2. Incident level confirmed. INTF scale 7. Major accident. All personnel evacuate beyond contamination zone immediately. Estimated spread radius 3.7 kilometers. Correction, 9.2 kilometers. Correction, 24.9 kilometers. Correction, 45.3 kilometers. Correction, 79.8 kilometers.
My hands are sweating. All right. Hi, operator. I'm Gabriel Mercier, codename N2. Since we'll be fighting side by side, allow me to properly introduce myself. As the codename suggests, my combat style leans towards cryogenic suppression. My frost launcher paired with a cryo flask can quickly force enemies into a frost state, ensuring they pose no threat to us. If enemy positions are unknown, the homing stun grenade can precisely mark them as well. Right now, I'm in the middle of a critical operation. One where failure is not an option. I hope this mission can make up for some of my past mistakes, even if just a little. Mission target zone, AZ3, Asara's only source of nuclear power. The plant's power output is spiking abnormally. This time, I won't let it happen again. An emergency shutdown is our only chance, but the risk is extreme. We not only have to breach Havoc's heavy defenses, we have to face lethal radiation head-on. Some containers within AZ3 have already been contaminated by radiation. You can follow distinctive sounds to locate them, but keep a close eye on your own radiation levels. Radiation is divided into 4 levels, each causing different effects. Accumulated radiation can be cleared by leaving the contaminated zone and using decon chambers or mobile decon units. During the incident, some personnel lost their access keys. We can use these keys to infiltrate the classified zones and gather intel and supplies.
Key verified. Access granted. AZ3 key detected.
That's not all. Severe leaks have occurred across multiple sections of the plant. You can choose to endure radiation exposure and enter these zones for high-value supplies and rare data, or stay clear. The choice is yours. Havoc has deployed a large number of purification soldiers at AZ3. Once your position is exposed, heavy purifiers will apply debuffs like corrosion and slow movement, but attacking the weak spot on their back can neutralize them quickly. An even tougher threat comes from the relink agents. H-1000 personally leads H-47, H-800, and other agents to guard the facility. All of them connected through Skynet. They're extremely persistent. Stay on maximum alert. One final thing. If we do manage to shut down all the nuclear facilities, something unexpected might happen.
Disabling attention. All AC-3 terminals disabled.
Of course, the nuclear plant has new collectibles too. Over in warfare, things are heating up. The flames of war have reached the weathered stone walls of the Colosseum. This 1,000-year-old city is sliding toward ruination. We've got new weapons. The RM-277 assault rifle excels at sustained suppressive fire, most effective from medium to long range. The SVCH marksman rifle is capable of taking down enemies in one shot at long range. There are also some bonus events coming up. Play Ole 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 to earn points and exchange them for sports-themed rewards and exclusive avatars. The Meltdown Season Pass includes various tactical supplies, including a new outfit for Tempest. The new season's Mandelbricks can yield the AKM assault rifle. Astromancy's game. Not bad. Opening Turbricks gives you a chance at the Law of Time series collectible charms. Good luck. A new melee weapon, Elegy, the exclusive weapon of the Abyss Shark Reese. Pretty cool. Oh, and don't forget, the Rainbow Six Siege crossover is launching soon too. 3 new operator skins. Black Ice weapon skins, and special collectibles. Now that's something. Covers the main updates for the Meltdown season. Don't mess this up. Don't mess this up.
Got the Mandelbrick. Find it. Stop them. Mandelbrick decoded. Nice work, operator.
The time to strike is now. Do not let me down, operator.
Decoding has begun. Defend the area.
Is about to take the first Mandelbrick of the tournament. And they're going to do it.
What goes around, comes around.
I'm not gonna do very much though. You get barrel stuff. Skydie is getting aggressive.
See what I did there? You ain't seen nothing yet.
Let's knock them off their feet.
There we go. There it is.
Hello everyone and welcome to the second week of the Delta Force Rise series. I'm Toby, joined by Vivid, and we are in for an incredible time here for some EMEA action tonight. Vivid, first of all, nice to finally meet you. I've had the pleasure of watching you cast alongside Coach, alongside DK for so long in Delta Force, and now I finally get the pleasure. How are you doing, my man?
Doing good. Yes, big shout out to the Delta Force gang that's going to be joining us here today, and big shout out to Toby as well, who's going to be joining us for the ride here this weekend. Super excited. Obviously, the big talk of the town, Toby, was that last week we kind of introduced the Rise series. It's this 5-week long competition, and before you know it, it's already week number 2. So strap in and get ready to kind of jump into the action, because this stuff flies by.
Oh yeah, definitely. A lot of action gone by last week as well. Got to see some good action today. We're kicking things off with B versus D. But we'll get into all the nitty-gritty, all the detail of all of that in just a few moments as we get the next slides up and ready. What were maybe some of the things from you last week, Vivid, that you saw that you really liked? Like maybe some expectations coming into today?
Yeah, actually, Toby, why don't we go ahead and jump into what we actually saw last week? Let's go ahead and take a look at some of those best moments.
their sides. No, not quite sure if that is going to be enough to deter the side of WLG, as they are going to be pushing forward. Beautiful sprays coming through. One down. Oh, almost gets the finish with the smoke. Not finding any damage, but it's going to be Scooby looking to go in for the disruption. Oh my gosh, got it.
He got it. He got it on the back foot of landing hip fire shots. Vest that is all but broken. Just a sliver of durability left, as you can see in the bottom of your screen. So if Maxa lands some shots, it's going to be a pretty quick kill. Molotov is actually going to be taken out, enter completely, and now NBO are in control of the Mandelbrick. 10 seconds remaining, but they're only a duo. Can they defend it? Nas is trying to make something happen. He's going to be the Tempest for AGT, but you got to jump on the Mandelbrick. The timer's almost out. It's going to take 2.5 seconds to res. He almost tries to res. Oh my gosh. The fact that his teammate, the Stinger, was laying on the Mandelbrick decoding station. But they're going to go ahead and have to face the full trio of AGT, who are also swimming towards it. But take a look at this. Team Gotaga, oh my gosh, Nox. This is why we call this guy the absolute highlight reel. He is so good at finding some of these kills, and on the back foot of him, picking up 2 of his own. This is going to be the solo left alive for the side of AGT. He does great work. He knocks Ushbishka right there, and now it's going to be a 1v1. But the shock is in. It does so much damage, but the shots don't land. UDT have done the same exact thing. They're going to get the flank, and they're going to take out Chins. They're going to take out Kalo, and now Team Genius have been fully wiped off the map as Hannah goes down. AGT are left remaining as a 3-man roster after everything that kind of happened. But as I mentioned, that Max is going to join the fray. He's going to be picking up a double piece, and Team Gotaga 10 seconds before they secure the Mandelbrick, and with Max picking up, what is that, 2-3 kills? I think they're going to have it. No, they go down. They have about 20 seconds to work with to jump on the Mandelbrick to go ahead and secure this. This 1v1 pretty much dictates it. Can Nats go ahead and win it? Enters down to very, very low HP, and on the back foot of the disarm, applying so much pressure.
Well, I asked for a few highlights, and here we go. Got to watch absolutely all of them. What an insane week it was last week. And overall, just I feel like we're looking back at the leaderboard and how things turned out. So hard to predict. AGARTHA, for example, as we saw here, very highlight-worthy performance by them. On day 2, they don't really get anything going, but then they come back on Sunday and absolutely pop off.
Yeah, just so much action kind of being broken down here. Here's a quick look at how our bracket is going so far. A quick reminder, this group stage, it is a total of 12 matches. So all of our teams, whether you've seen them play last weekend or you only saw them kind of play once, we will see them play a bunch more. You can see we've already gone through 3 of the matches. That was week number 1. A quick reminder, we're going to be taking a look at B versus D groups here in match number 4 today. So if you take a look at the left side of your screen, you can see that's going to be FLC, WLG, Alliance, and FLOORPOV, Fnatic there as well. But Toby, man, here's how our overall leaderboard is working. A quick reminder for everybody at home. Groups A and C, they've played twice. Groups B and D, they've only played once. So the leaderboard is a little skewed right now.
Definitely. Looking to see a lot of the guys on the right-hand side of the leaderboard be up amongst the top 5, I would say, at least, by the end of not just the day, but the weekend as a whole. Because my, oh my, I feel like there are still some teams, and you, of course, you'd know better than me because you were the one casting the games last week, but there's definitely some teams that are capable of a lot more than what they necessarily showed last week. I mean, NBA, we know with their global playing experience, been Alliance as well, roster having been picked up there. There are some really big rosters in there, just maybe haven't really found their footing in that first week just yet.
Yeah, of course, but that's why we love this format. That's going to take us a couple of weeks, right? Because it gives all of these teams an opportunity to kind of feel things out in the first week, but then still have an opportunity to kind of jump back up into the action. You went ahead and mentioned, you know, NBA, but Alliance as well down there with 1 point. But I love the fact that you kept bringing up AGARTHA, right? Because as you can see, they're in 3rd place now, but they went into their 2nd day of playing. They were in a similar situation. They were at the bottom of the leaderboard, and then they jumped all the way up. So a lot to play for here for all of our teams. But why don't we go ahead and highlight the team that is actually in 1st place, specifically between groups B and D. You can see Team FLC over there in 6th place. They picked up a Mandelbrick of their own on the back foot of 18 total kill points. And the fact that, again, listen, they only played 1 singular day. So the fact that they were able to pick up a Mandelbrick on the back foot of those 18 total kills is quite a feat.
Definitely. Definitely a roster to look out for. And also, I mean, I just love the fact that we're getting to see them for so many weeks in a row now, getting a really good insight into what they're going to be capable of. Was this just a one-week performance and then they're down and out, or are they actually going to be able to maintain this all the way through? Now, of course, we've explained a lot as to how this tournament functions, as to how everything goes. We have a bit more in-depth details to share with you. So let's toss over to this video and I'll explain you things a few more.
Delta Force. One game, 2 regions, 1 shot at glory. This is the complete guide to Delta Force Rise Series EMEA and Americas Season 1. Everything you need to know, from the very first match to the last squad standing. The path is the same in both regions. It starts with the open qualifiers, open to any team that wants to compete. The best push through to the group stage, where the top 2 advance directly to the finals, bottom 2 eliminated, and the rest battle through the survivor stage to earn their spot. From the open qualifiers, 12 teams have fought their way into the season, and only 1 will lift the trophy. The group stage runs for 4 weeks, with matches every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The 12 teams are split into 4 groups, A, B, C, and D. 3 teams per group. Each broadcast day, 2 groups go head-to-head in a cross-group match. Every match is a 7-round format. 6 teams competing in the same lobby simultaneously, across up to 7 rounds on maps like Zero Dam, Brakkesh, Tide Prison, and Space City. Teams earn squad points by scoring eliminations and accumulating in-game total assets. And on brick rounds, they compete to collect and decode Mandelbricks, artifacts that decide the round winner. Decode 2 Mandelbricks in a match and the victory is locked in, no matter what round you're on. After 12 match days, the group stage standings are final. Places 1 to 2 go straight to the finals. Places 3 to 8 enter Survivor Stage Day 1. Places 9 to 10 drop into Survivor Stage Day 2. Places 11 to 12 are eliminated. The Survivor Stage is where the bracket narrows fast. Day 1 brings those 6 teams together for one 7-round match. The top 2 advance directly to the finals. Places 3 to 6 get 1 more shot. Day 2 mixes the 4 survivors from Day 1 with the 2 teams ranked 9th and 10th from the group stage. Again, 6 teams, 1 7-round match. Top 2 go to the finals. Everyone else is out. 6 teams, 1 day, 1 lobby, 1 match. This is the finals, the ultimate showdown of the season. 2 teams earned it through the group stage. 2 more survived Day 1. The last 2 came through Day 2. Every team deserves to be there. The top 3 finishers earn an invitation to Season 2. Welcome to Delta Force Rise Series EMEA and Americas Season 1. Loot, shoot, extract.
An intricate game requires an intricate format, and my oh my, baby, do I feel like this is one of the most in-depth formats I've seen in esports in a long time. This is so thorough with how it's done. Of course, everyone fighting to go through to the finals.
Yeah, without a doubt. As you can see, though, after these group stage goes ahead and finishes up, you want to be in 1st through 2nd place, because that'll give you a direct qualification spot into those finals. And of course, through those survivor stages, still an opportunity for our 3rd through 10th place teams to kind of jump into those finals as well. But pretty much the bulk of it can be summarized with one single sentence here. If you play well, you're going to make it all the way to the finals. And then if you play well there as well, you're going to be picking up a bunch of cash, which we're going to talk about in just a little bit. But the crazy thing for me here, Toby, is that I've talked about it every single time we take a look at this, is that we have this like 4 or 5 week long competition, but the finals themselves, it being just one singular day, one 7-round match to kind of culminate the entire Rise series that day. You've got to be here for it.
Oh, definitely. Because by that time, I mean, yes, as much as we're looking at the leaderboard now and seeing who's on top and whatnot, it can be completely turned upside down by the time we get to there. No doubt the best will be the ones going through. As we take a look at the tournament rules as they stand here, 1.5 million technical alloy. Each player gets to start. The whole thing was, of course, as with any other operation game, if you die, you lose your gear, and you want to claim those Mandelbricks. They come in round 2 and then 4, 5, 6, and 7. And if you're good enough to be able to net yourself 2, we stop the day early and you count yourself the winner of the whole thing. We also have the airdrop rounds, of course, starting off in 1 and 3. And then a new thing here to the Rise series, the Mandelbrick Plus airdrop rounds in round 2.
Yep, without a doubt. And a quick little reminder down there in the bottom right as well. Operators can only be used 2 times throughout games number 1 through 6. If we do make it all the way to game number 7, that operator restriction will actually reset and all of our teams can kind of pick up whatever they want. A bulk of the action, though, has to be kind of noted. It's all about the mana bricks. We're going to be seeing a bunch of the fights kind of happen around some of these decoding stations. But in terms of how our players are going to start the day off, all of them are going to have access to a 3x3 ultimate safe box, so plenty of room to kind of stash some of that loot away if you fail your extract. 12-slot card holder. All of our players will have access to all of the key cards on every single one of the maps that we're going to be going through here today. And a couple of ways for our teams, our players, to go ahead and pick up some extra alloys. Of course, they're going to be getting a fixed supply of them after every single game. And then, of course, whatever's in their ultimate safe box. 800,000 per elimination. That's where a bulk of the economy is actually going to be coming from. If the mana brick decoding it wasn't good enough in terms of just boosting you up the leaderboard, you also get some extra alloys for that. And then if you're kind of having a rough go at it, you consecutively fail some of those extractions, we're going to go ahead and give you some bonus alloys as well.
Called the pat on the back alloys are the ones given to them, having a hard time. Of course, the Mandelbricks are the bread and butter of this tournament format, and with that, we need a little explainer on exactly how things work. In the Mandelbrick rounds, the Mandelbricks will become available shortly after the round starts. Then, whichever team gets to pick it up have 5 minutes to place it in a decoding station of their choice on the given map. After the Mandelbrick has been placed, a 4-minute timer starts, and if that timer runs all the way down to 0, congratulations, team, you have netted yourself a Mandelbrick. But a lot of teams will try and prevent that from happening. So they'll try and go in, steal it for themselves. It takes 2.5 seconds where you have to be on the brick itself in order to steal it. The timer will then reset, minus 30 seconds of what it previously was, going all the way down to 1 minute 30. Should it get stolen again after we're down there, it's going to continue to go up to 1:30. And then, of course, again, if a team gets eliminated while they're in the middle of decoding it, the countdown will be paused for another team to take over. So it looks very complicated on screen, but I think, for any viewer out there, even if you're new to the game, watch one game, maybe two, and you will have this completely understood. But with any great esport, of course, comes a great point system, and we have a good one here or there as well.
Yeah, without a doubt, again, this is going to be the group stage kind of breakdown to how you can actually secure points to make sure that you do make it to those finals that we were talking about just a little bit ago. So on your single day of kind of playing, how you actually place over the course of a 7-round match will kind of dictate how many points you get that go towards that group stage leaderboard. You can see here, first place, you're going to get 8 points, second place, 6 points. So that's where kind of like the bulk of those points you're going to be coming from. But then as well, 1 singular point for picking up a decode on a mana brick. So if a team actually ends the competition early, of course, one of those teams that is able to pick up 2 total mana bricks, they can actually net themselves 10 points on any given day throughout this Rise series, which is why we kind of talk about it. Those teams that are towards the bottom of the leaderboard that only have 1 point, we kind of looked at it. Our first and second places, they're at 14 to 13 points. 10 points gets you very, very close to that.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Of course, another way to get yourself points is, the squad points as a whole. You get kill points and you get supply points. You combine the two of those and they net out your total squad points. And I gotta say, for kill points in particular, I feel like we've increased the value over time over the last half year that the tournaments have been going on. We're all the way up to 800,000 per elim now. It's starting to get real spicy with the prize pool added on top of it for eliminations. I feel like while, of course, the Mandelbrick is the main thing, I feel like we're seeing a lot more aggression already off the start here in teams going for kills too.
Without a doubt, but here's that prize pool that we were kind of talking about. Remember, all these 1st through 12th place kind of cash that is up for grabs here, it's not going to be played for until that final day of the Rise series, all the way in week number 5 on that specific Sunday. Some of our 6 teams that kind of place into those finals, that qualify for them finals, they can go ahead and fight for that $60,000 in first place. That dynamic kill bonus, we kept talking about this last weekend, $50 per kill throughout the entirety of this competition. All of our players are kind of playing for that, right? They're kind of noting that one down, but taking a look at our participating teams as a quick reminder, we're only going to be seeing groups B and D specifically today. It's going to be FLC, WLG, Alliance, FLOORPOV, Fnatic, and NBA. And for groups A and C, they're on a little bit of a rest, but we will see all of our teams play at least once throughout the entirety of this weekend. So if you don't see your favorite team playing today, we're going to go ahead and show you the schedule so you can kind of note down when you need to kind of jump into the action. July 17th, our quick reminder, groups B and D. Tomorrow, Saturday, groups A and D will be going head to head. And then on Sunday, we'll be seeing groups B and C go at it in match number 6. But a 5-week-long competition here, Toby.
Oh yeah, and we're getting off with a good one today. I think, honestly, just looking at the rosters, B and D combined, to me, is one hell of a scary group. I mean, you have some of the biggest orgs that got picked up. We get to see, of course, all of them here as well. WLGaming off to a good start on their part as well. I mean, we just have so many good teams within these two groups.
Without a doubt, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the players here on the side. We're going to be taking a look at Oko, Scooby here. Again, favorite weapons are pretty much M7s almost entirely across all of our teams. But a team that has a lot to do today, Team Alliance. And as a quick note, this is actually one of our teams that was invited to the Rise Series. I didn't actually have to qualify, but they were invited because of the Alliance boost here. But grind, easy. You can see it, 3,000 game time hours. 2,000 here for the side of Lynx. And again, as a quick reminder, Alliance, they're currently in last place. They only have one singular point, so a lot of work for them to kind of do today, but I'm sure these guys can do it.
Oh yeah, definitely. The former legacy roster, all German team there with Lysa, of course, Finland added in as well. And we have FLC Clan as well, the French team, who I was a bit surprised by seeing how this team came to be under FLC Clan. You have Siloa, who used to play for Road to be signed, and then the rest of his teammates are from, well, it wasn't really much of a team, just TPA, you know, like they didn't have the org back then. But the fact that they went in and mixed up things, because Road to be signed coming into this tournament looked really good as a standalone roster, but they are now split kind of all over the place. Siloa, the member from there, joining up with FLC, so definitely a roster French team here to look out for too.
Yep, without a doubt. As a quick reminder, FLC are pretty much the team that is furthest up the leaderboard out of everybody that's going to be playing today. They currently sit in 6th place on that group leaderboard. A team that's not too far behind them, sitting in 8th place, it's going to be team FLOORPOV here. Yersay, an absolute beast here. You can see an 8.8 KD. Incredible stuff there. Obsess, and pretty much the theme whenever we kind of look at these players, it's incredible how many hours these guys actually kind of put into the game to go ahead and prepare for competitions like this. This team is going to be stacked. Again, they're doing well on the leaderboard. They got to continue on with what they have done so far.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then hopping straight over to the next big one, Fnatic. Once again, a full French roster here. The former RMB guys. I mean, I had the pleasure of casting Raidbull and the gang in tournaments prior to the league itself. And Raidbull, whenever he went on, he was a full-on raid beast. I'm telling you, he would take on 1v2s, 1v3s on his own, and multiple times come out victorious. And then when you back him up with his teammates here, they are forced to be working with.
Without a doubt, and the team that everybody kind of had their eyes on coming into the weekend, it's of course going to be Mandelbrick Addiction, MBA. Unfortunately for these guys, that addiction was not enough last weekend, as they actually have 0 Mandelbricks captured so far. But again, we only saw them once last weekend. This is going to be our opportunity to kind of see them for the second time, and hopefully they've kind of, you know, switch some things up. They're going to approach the strategy just a little bit differently today. But there it is. That kind of rounds out Group C, and that rounds out the 6 teams that we are going to be watching go head-to-head. I do want to note, only one of these 6 teams last weekend, again, all 6 teams only played once, but only one team out of these 6 captured a Mandelbrick last weekend, and that was Team FLC Clan. So keep a close eye on those guys coming into the day. But of course, our first round, it's going to be Zero Dam, that economy boosting round, and the potential to go ahead and secure those airdrops.
Now, is it all just going to be admin fighting galore all the way to the finish? Are we actually seeing people prioritize airdrops? I feel like over the last couple of weeks of play, because kills or limbs have been getting so much more valuable, we are going to be seeing a lot more fight-heavy team as opposed to teams actually trying to go out and get looting going early on. Of course, no one's selected any operators yet, so this is as clean as can be as we get ready for this one. But Raptor, Vyron, Raptor, all the ones that are most popular among the operators here on Zero Dam.
Yeah, without a doubt. A lot of our teams like to go ahead and invest some of those assault operators because, again, we see so many kills kind of go down on the Zero Dam map. I really like the D-Wolf ult kind of being used. You can kind of go from spot to spot, kind of just go ahead and loot up. But, of course, Raptor finds incredible value on a map like Zero Dam. You get so much information, and, of course, on the back foot of his utility as well. Just make sure that you don't get caught off by anybody that's kind of sneaking around any one of these specific corners. And the fact that a lot of the fights do happen on the outskirts of the map, Raptor just, again, finds so much value. But if you bring him in the admin, right, close corridors, he's still so good in there. I don't even want to mention that, like, yeah, he could be a little bit worse in the admin building where we see a lot of the fights go down, but he's still just so good.
Oh, yeah. Can I also just say how much I love the fact, I mean, of course, we've been casting all these tournaments coming in to the main event as we are now here getting ready for match number 1 to start. But I absolutely love the fact that we have player camps on everyone. It makes it so much more personal, gives the viewer, us, the community, a chance to really get into them with the players on screen.
Without a doubt, but we're going to be giving away some things throughout the day here today. Before we jump into round number 1, we've got a quick break giveaway. A redeemable code is about to appear on your screen for the spray paint. As you can see, they're featured on your screen. Be quick. It only has a limited number of activations, so once they're gone, they're gone. Good luck, guys. Go ahead and make sure you kind of throw that into the in-game redemption, or you can go ahead and jump onto the website as well. But as a quick reminder, we're going to be doing giveaways throughout the day, so kind of keep your eyes peeled out for those. We'll be giving those call outs, but take a look at this. An early jump here into Zero Dam. Admin building being controlled early by Team Alliance, and you can hear Saeed is coming right into their loving arms. The knives are going to be out to go ahead and take him out. We'll have to see if they can get some early loot off of him.
Definitely. Alliance with the tier 1 spawn, of course. It's worth noting that you can't get the same spawn 2 rounds in a row, so they get it here. And it begs the question, do you prefer? I mean, obviously you want to be closer on the Mandelbricks too, but a good spawn on airdrop rounds, is that equally worth? What do you call, Vivid?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of our teams would prefer to actually get a tier 2 or tier 3 spawn on a map like Zero Dam. We actually saw some strategies being employed last weekend where a team that knew they had the opportunity to get a tier 1 spawn going into Brakkesh, on the back for them also having a great game on Zero Dam, they actually invested their Tempest. So basically what that kind of allowed them to do was actually secure that first mana brick on Brakkesh because they got the tier 1 spawn. They had a good round on Zero Dam, so their economy was looking good. They actually just invested early, but here we go. You want to talk about good rounds on Zero Dam? It starts with finding the reds, and an IFV is going to be boosting up that economy there for the side of FPOV on the back foot of the ventilator as well. So 1.7 million total assets already obtained through just 2 single reds.
Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all as things get quiet down for a little bit here. Just clearing out some of the guards and then making sure that you got space for the fights to come. It looks like FLC are playing it pretty slow on the opposite side of things. I think they're waiting for a potential admin fight to pop off and then go off of a third-party opportunity for that. But seems like Easy ain't going to let that be the case at all.
You can see here, we're going to be having some tips for you guys at home throughout the day as well to kind of continuously explain the format. Kind of mentioning down there, hey, listen, you know, you can go ahead and fight, you can go ahead and extract, but it's not necessarily the only way to win out on rounds that don't feature a mana break.
True.
You can pick up some of the airdrop loot, whether it be, you know, there's an AUM in there, an M82, 50 caliber sniper rifle, or just some reds, maybe some gold armor as well. So a lot to kind of be played for outside of just kind of dominating your opponents that are in the server as well. But that might be kind of the peak of interest here for a lot of our teams as we're starting to see a lot of our teams go towards this admin area. 3 total teams already up there.
Exactly. They're sat ready and waiting for a potential fight to come. But it's always so fun because no one really wants to be the instigator because everyone too knows that there are so many teams around. So if you start off the fight, maybe you get one knockdown early on. It's so hard to try and reset knowing their team pushing in from all different directions. So NBA, they're sat here waiting for things to pop off. So is Alliance as they're all just kind of circling around WLG right now.
You did go ahead and mention that, you know, it is hard to kind of pick up on all of the information, but we just kind of saw the value of Raptor. Again, you kind of send that drone all the way up top, and you could pretty much get a good scope of things, what's happening on the outside of the building. But that being said, we have seen these Zero Dams play out quite differently every single time we do kind of jump into them. You can see we're already over that 14-minute mark, so as a quick reminder on these competitive games, every single map, every single round has a total of 18 minutes to kind of be played for. So we're already approaching being on the server here for a total of 5 minutes. And I don't think our players have shot at one another yet, which means we're probably going to be having a giant brawl within the last like 5 minutes. So get ready for that.
Oh, yeah, that's usually how it goes down. The more quiet it is in the beginning, the more everyone is going, oh, come on, guys, start fighting. Well, don't you worry. Eventually, it's going to pop off, and when it does so big. And while everyone is kind of stalling things out up in and around the admin area, FLOORPOV, they're like, oh, no one's going for the drop. I guess we'll just go down and take it for free down down south. So good on them. I mean, Fnatic, they're still over by Cement, not really opting to go anywhere. And FLC now are slowly starting to move south too. So they could actually, I mean, while normally it's in admin that the first fights erupt, it could potentially be Fnatic and FLC that start things off here.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to be pretty safe and secure here. And with us kind of picking up on the fact that they're going to be picking up some of those bullets, it's going to be pretty obvious that our first airdrop of the day is going to feature an in it. So Yersei here, as a quick reminder, remember, this is the team that already picked up that IFE and this ventilator. So already their profits were like at like 3 mil. On the back of them picking up this now they're all the way up to 4 mil in profit. So this has been a great round. Keep a close eye on whether or not this team is able to fully extract, because if they could just extract right now, they would 100% do it. They would love to go ahead and get out with all of this loot and the weaponry they've been able to pick up.
Definitely. Of course, would have to traverse a bit in order to find themselves that extra, having started up by major substation. But yeah, no doubt. I mean, when you get off to such a good start, and again, they haven't even touched admin. I mean, usually it's the teams that dare to go in there or have the chance to anyway. They come out with the most in the back. But right now, it's the major substation team that have been heavily rewarded with where they've been and just playing it super carefully.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to be kind of trying to rotate over towards this south extract, this riverbank extract right now. We'll have to see if they can kind of get their whole 3-man roster out through that extract. This is going to be a little bit of a paid extract. I'm not sure if they've been able to pick up the required amount of alloys to go ahead and get out with all of this stuff. So we'll keep a close eye on those guys. But you kind of mentioned it. I mean, obviously the big focus so far has been FLOORPOV. But that's just because they've been able to do whatever they've wanted on the south side of the map.
Chilling.
All of our other teams are just elsewhere. You know what I mean? Just kind of hanging out. I mean, we're 7 minutes in, and it feels like Team FPOV have been the only team to actually make something happen.
Yeah, exactly. What's the meme with the guy just sat like heavy sweating and the other guy just leaning back on his keyboard singing, having a good time? You know, that's kind of what's been the case. But now finally, fights potentially erupting, but no, not quite. Jewel just, I mean, a few shots taken, but immediately able to run back to safety. Again, it's kind of an awkward stalemate that we've got going up and around admin. And then you have FLC clan that are just sat waiting for like, come on, guys, start fighting. We want to third party this, but no one's really wanting to jump this.
And so far, that wall breaker contract that we have kind of recently made very, very valuable here in these competitions. Because it does go ahead and give you those lucky wooden sculptures. It kind of allows you to pick up some early golden armor and gear going into some of the following rounds, and it doesn't actually kind of contribute to the limited amount of gold packs that you were able to buy. So it's incredibly valuable. But me kind of saying that wall breaker contract has not been picked up yet at all. And I would imagine that as we get deeper and deeper into the timer on Zero Dam here, nobody is probably going to go ahead and invest to pick up that wall breaker. But speaking about investing, I mean, Team FLOORPOV here, they pretty much have it moved on the south side of the map, and another airdrop is landing right on top of their heads in about 50 seconds here. So we'll have to see if they can go ahead and get a second one. But before we jump over and kind of talk about that, look at this. Team FLC versus Team Fnatic potentially downstairs.
Oh yeah, they're sat right next to each other. I thought, I mean, when I mentioned this potential fight brewing earlier, I thought it was going to be down by the waterfront, but no, not quite the case. They found each other in the low ground. This is going to, for sure, give FLOORPOV the free pickup, and then it's going to be up to them. Imagine that. You get the double air supply and a chance at a third party outside. I mean, who needs tier 1 spawns anyway when you can get these type of situations happening for you for FLOORPOV?
About 10 seconds before that airdrop goes ahead and lands down. You can see this is kind of working its way out to be somewhat of a stalemate between the sides of Team Fnatic and Team FLC. A quick reminder, all of our players, when you jump into this first round of the day, they all have blue ammo. They all have purple armor and helmets. So it's very, very hard to actually do a lot of damage very, very quickly, because I'm sure everybody at home and all of these players are kind of used to just playing with ammo. That's a little bit of a leg up, or at least like gold ammo. So the fact that they're going to be downgraded in terms of the ammo there, it's kind of a little bit of a surprise. But sure enough, Team FPOV, they're able to go ahead and pick up the second airdrop. But take a look at all of the loot that they have been able to pick up from this one. It's not as much as some of the other things that they've been able to pick up, but it's just going to go ahead and continue to contribute as they're up to 5 mil in total profits. I think it's down to 4 because they just dropped those reds. It's going to go back up to 5 here very, very shortly. But yeah, they're up to 5 mil in profits here.
With literally 0 conflict, 0 like fighting. I feel like they too must be feeling, wait guys, we're having it too easy here. You saw Alliance, they heard the shots fired between FLC and Fnatic just moments ago, went down to check it out, but Fnatic, they kind of backed out. I mean, it's an awkward tunnel to have to take a fight in, so I fully respect them backing off of that. And also, having now realized the second drop has probably been looted, because they obviously have not done anything to try and check it out. Everyone's just waiting things out, and as a matter of fact, as a result of that, EMEA have left admin, Alliance have left admin. Now it's just WLG left, set up there, still thinking there's somebody right across the hallway.
Yeah, I thought we were going to get a big brawl over that elevator extract that we're kind of used to. I don't even know if we're going to see that. I would love to kind of know what our teams are kind of thinking right now, because again, obviously, team FLOORPOV here, they've done so good.
Oh, they want to get out of here.
To be able to extract. Yeah.
Oh,
if they can, they're going to be your team in first place without a doubt.
Easy.
At least in terms of the economy side of things. But yeah, 7 minutes remaining for all of our teams to kind of figure out what they want to do. I mean, listen, I'm usually pretty good at figuring it out here. I have no idea what some of these teams are kind of thinking right now.
No, I mean, you see Fnatic with Red Bull again. He's just not a guy to sit still for too long. He's out here checking this out. And I said, oh, there's a head scene. First potential contact here for FPOV. As Eurosai, he is the one rocking the Orm right now. Has a chance at a shot at Red Bull. If they can find him early, just the one tap to the dome and then make an aggressive play off of that, there's not really anyone nearby FLOORPOV and Fnatic right now. So if they can execute on that and survive with all 3, that's just even more in the bank for FLOORPOV.
You mentioned it earlier. Some shots between players have been far and few between it. It might actually be almost 0 outside of that little bit of a conflict we saw between Fnatic and FLC. Some shots towards some of the Raptor drones. I guess we can kind of tally those up here. But yeah, you can kind of see that hesitation as well from the side of FPOV to actually invest that shot towards the side of Fnatic, because as soon as they shoot, the information is kind of given away that they do have the Now that being said, me and Toby, as we sit up here on the caster desk, we have information on the map of where all of our teams are kind of rotating. And this is the team that I was about to talk about. Mandelbrick Addiction, you mentioned it. They left the admin building. They've actually wrapped all the way around to this major substation area. They could potentially be a team to flank the side of FPOV. You can see the Raptor drone will maybe get a quick glimpse at this full 3-man roster all the way over by small substation. And the fact that this team is kind of on the southern side of the map, they might now know that this is potentially the team with all of that loot from all the airdrops.
They're literally sat right next to 2 open crates. I mean, they've got to know that that's where their money is right now. Question is where they're going to go for it. And you know what I mean? The thing is, EMEA, they never got into an admin proper, so they don't really have anything to lose in taking this fight. Well, of course, I mean, the gear that they're starting off with, surely, but why not risk it going for a fight for potential double airdrop or air supply looted team? It's a smart play by them if they're up to go aggressive here. And you can see FLOORPOV, they're actually opting to try and disengage this now.
Super hard to go ahead and push into the cement plant when a team is kind of sitting all the way up top. I myself have tried multiple times in my own games and been very unsuccessful a lot of times as a result of just how strong this position can be. But Alliance are actually trying to make something happen. You can see it's just Lynx that's actually going to be all the way up top. I can kind of see Easy and Grind off in the distance trying to make something happen, but take a look at this. Yursei, the side of FPOV, is potentially going to go ahead and follow the rotation from Fnatic and potentially have perfect timing to third party this 3v3 that might kick off in just a couple of seconds.
Well, they might be quick and a good chance to engage, but they too have to worry because EMEA is tracking in right behind them too, so it could be a 4th party in the making. All of that is a lot of shots fired. We finally see the Orm in action. Grind, the first one to fall.
And that's going to be an shot invested right there. It's actually going to be 2 to go ahead and secure that knock. As a quick reminder, those bullets, you can't buy them. They're going to run out if you don't go ahead and keep them safe. But 3 left for them to kind of go ahead and utilize. 100K each is kind of what they are valued as in terms of alloy. But if you get a kill from it, a kill's worth 800,000. So that's going to be a net positive for the side of FPOV. But that being said, Team Mandelbrick Addiction, they're still hot on their heels. As a quick note, they're still flanking them. They're still trying to kind of make something happen on their rotate as well. Team Alliance, they're down to just 2 members, but Fnatic is still in the area as well. So we thought we were going to see a big fight over the elevator extract, but we're going to be seeing potentially just this big clash happen just to the south of the cement plant. And by the way, Toby, we might have missed it. We're actually down to 3 minutes remaining, so no time to actually pull that elevator switch. What's happening?
I mean, I've never seen a full-on cement plant brawl before, but we might be in for it. As a matter of fact, WLG is coming down this direction now, too. They might be seeing Mandelbrick Dixon in just a short moment. So 4 teams on the downside here, potentially up to engage one another. Nice shots over the top there. Unfortunately, couldn't just quite connect for Yersey, as Fnatic now squeezing ever so much closer down towards Alliance as well.
Yeah, I mean, now that we have basically no time left remaining, I don't think anybody's going to make it out of the extract. I'm actually seeing that one of our teams opted to go ahead and activate that riverbank extract. You can do that sometimes. If you activate it and then just jump off of it, you're not going to extract, but you can kind of deny it from all of our other teams. So that riverbank extract kind of being denied all the way to the south. Only those conditionals are going to be left for all of our teams, which, as we know, can only send out 1 single member. So a lot of players are going to be filling the extract here, and with only 1 minute and 40 seconds remaining, all of the kills are going to start to fly in because all of our teams are going to want to make something happen here.
See if you can get some points over this one, get something in the back for the round to come. Yersey goes for the shot again, but can't quite connect. Has to back off. Issue is, with every second, opponents are creeping in from behind. I guess the good thing right now is that Mandelbrick Addiction and WLG are close to one another, so the pressure isn't imminent on FLOORPOV right now.
Without a doubt. Reminder, Team Alliance, they're a duo, so trying to kind of make something happen here to make this one worth it. But take a look at this. The second kill found on Zero Dam. It's going to once again become from the side of Yersey on the back foot of having access to that and now the full-fledged attack is out with only 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining. They're trying to make something happen. Yersey is trying to provide some of those covering shots, but unfortunately for the side of FPOV, Obsessed is going to be going down, and Alliance are going to be the team that's actually finding some of the kills here.
This is such an awkward fight. 3 teams on the west side of the river, 3 teams on the right now as well, as FLC and WLG finally go up against one another. Scoopy's going to be the first one to fall off of that. Mandelbrick Addiction haven't even joined that fight yet. So a lot of finds in the nearby proximity here with just 1 minute left on the timer. Oko now down as well.
Yeah, FLC, they were the team kind of hanging out in the admin building. They finally go ahead and opted to join the fray. Some trades going back and forth. You can see Fnatic picking up one. That's going to be Bane, and now he's trying to make something happen here, but it's easy. He's going to try to shut him down, and shut him down he will. Some great shots found there, but he's going to be very, very low. And turning over to the other fight that's kind of happening. It's going to be Team WLG picking up the last kill and the last remaining member of FLC. So FLC is going to be fully out. Team Alliance is going to be fully out. And take a look at the left side of your screen. Nobody is left as a full, healthy 3-man roster. A couple of solos from the side of NBA, WLG, and Fnatic to go ahead and go up against the 3-man of FPOV and that
Absolutely insane. We called it earlier. It was going to be a full-on rainbow on the kill feed in just a moment, and it was here as well. NBA, Mandelbrick Addiction will get eliminated as well. So FPOV back up to 3 alive. They won't get a chance to extract because time has run out of this round. But my, oh my, do they get out of this one as the clear victors of Zero Dam.
Well, Zero Dam, it's different every single time that we watch it, and different indeed it was. Not a single player, not a single operator extracts, not through the conditionals, not through the switch extract, and not through the paid extract to the south side of the map as well. And definitely a first for me here, Toby. But, you know, we saw all the kills kind of flooded. We have no idea who actually secured the most kills there and kind of made it the most valuable. But I can almost guarantee you, we know the team that made it out with the most loot, with all of those reds that they were able to kind of pick up. It's definitely going to be Team FPOV.
And it's so against the norm because they were never in admin. Like, that's where you normally go for all the good stuff. That's where your tier 1 spawns are oriented towards. And also, to add to the confusion of this round, not a single player got eliminated in admin. Like, when has that ever happened in a Zero Dam round? I mean, I know across other esports, EMEA is considered a region that is more, you know, more cautious, more careful. But this was just like over carefulness, I guess, that led to a very chaotic like mid to end game there. As FLC, as a matter of fact, going to be rewarded the best team of the round off of their 4 kill points.
Yep, great job from them. A reminder, they were kind of a team that I think stuck it out the longest in admin, actually.
Yeah.
And they kind of just made a dash towards the south side of the map and were able to pick up those 4 kills. So we'll see them towards the top of the leaderboard. Again, you know, every single kill is worth a squad point on the leaderboard throughout the day. So those kills are very, very valuable as well in terms of the economy there. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the individual performances from some of our operators. It's going to be Yursei, Selin, and Easy all tied pretty much for first place here. But we'll go ahead and put Yursei up there in first place after he was able to pick up those 2 kills with that. Some great shots landed from him.
You get the arm buff when you when you tie with other players on the fourth, and I think it's damage based. And in fact, it is 518 on his part, doing a lot with what he had to work with. Because it also comes with a little bit of added pressure when you're sat there with the arm. Not only are the guy tasked for using it, also you knowing what it costs whenever you miss a bullet. Which, fortunately for Yursei's sake, he did not miss that many of them.
Take a look at some of the assists here again. It's pretty much just single kills happening across the map, so not a lot of opportunity for some of our players to actually pick up assists here, but super weird Zero Dam. Let's go ahead and take a look at these assets earned here. 2 members of FPOV are going to be finding their way towards the top of this leaderboard, which is to nobody's surprise. Upwards of 700k here for Yursei and Blake, and links to follow Boot with just 360,000 for himself there. No surprise, but the MVP of game number 1, it's going to be Yursei himself. Obviously, the kill points kind of coming in. He was tied towards the top of that individual leaderboard, and then he was the player with the most amount of assets gained. So he was the one kind of walking away as the MVP.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's always funny when we have rounds like this where, I mean, outside of FPOE, of course, coming out with the Orm, which they then, didn't get to extract with. But when you have rounds like this, it always kind of funnels into the next round. Now we're going to see the first Mandelbrick round, but it's going to be playing so weirdly because sometimes, or oftentimes, you'll have 1 or 2 teams that got to extract with a lot of Zero Dam. They will then buy big into that next round. Now, no one really has a ton going for them, so it's going to be interesting to see how that's all going to unfold as we get ready for round 2.
Yeah, without a doubt. And get ready for round 2. We will indeed. Who's going to kind of invest into our first Mandelbrick round of the day? I can't wait to see, Tubi. We will be right back. Stay tuned.
Delta Force. 1 game, 2 regions, 1 shot at glory. This is the complete guide.
The enemy got the Mandelbricks. Find, stop them. Mandelbrick decoded. Nice work, operator.
The time to strike is now. Do not let me down, operator.
Decoding has begun. Defend the area.
Is about to take the first Mandelbrick of the tournament. They're going to do it.
What goes around, comes around.
Very much. Oh. You get barrel stuff. Skydie is getting aggressive.
See what I did there? You ain't seen nothing yet.
Let's knock them off their feet.
There we go. So much damage, and there it is.
timer is now the odds are in their favor, 2v1.
Everything getting spammed away, and MT getting a little solo. Hang on a second, NL. Look at that. It's an absolute sweat.
This. And LG's got to know that they're here. Lines them up, even through the shot. You're nuts. The last remaining 3 BOV, they find 2 instant knocks. The Helm's going to be hopping out for that.
Here we were, Vivid and I, hyping up the $50 value of eliminations, hyping up the 800,000 technical alloys for each kill, and then we got off to the most slow and steady zero damn start I think I've ever seen. Welcome back everyone from the break here, as we're now getting ready for the first Brakkesh, or well, the only potential Brakkesh, and the first Mandelbrick game, most importantly, here coming up.
Yeah, and here's a quick breakdown of how Zero Dam went for some of our teams there. A couple of our teams picking up those 6 total squad points. But you mentioned it, we're going to be jumping into Brakkesh. This is where our teams are going to have the opportunity to pretty much have a lead for what it'll feel like for the rest of the day. If you're the first team to go ahead and secure that Mandelbrick, the pressure will be on. As a quick reminder, now that we're starting to get into some of these games, all of our teams can only use every single one of these operators 2 times throughout the first 6 games of the day. You can see for the side of MBA, they're actually going to be our first team kind of graying out one of their operators, but no need to worry. It's just going to be that D-Wolf that we don't typically see used too much on the later half of the day anyway.
Exactly. Everyone opting to field Raptors in the previous round as well will, of course, be coming back into play later in the day as well. As we see here, Shepard, Allure, and Toxic, a little more heavy-hitting support players being viable here on the on Brakkesh. Obviously, a lot of open sky, a lot of open space for both Shepard and Allure ults to really come in handy.
Yep, without a doubt. Obviously, we've seen a lot of the times that a coding station on Brakkesh go towards that museum area. If you have an Alluru and all those kind of choke points, the Molotovs, his ultimate, of course, just finds so much value. And then Toxic as well. Her utility is going to be very, very good over the course of Brakkesh.
Doctor, they've entered
Definitely,
the
I love this map. I mean, I respect the fact that we get a lot of Space City, because obviously that's the fan favorite, especially for Mandelbrick rounds. But I really think Brakkesh has a lot to offer. There's so many different ways you can play this map, and there's so many different alleys that you can kind of play in towards, where even though Space City is a great map, a lot of the action kind of tends to go down the same way. As we have yet another giveaway presented for you. Get quick on your fingers here, because before round 2, as we're starting this one, there's another break giveaway. Make sure to get this redeem code in to unlock the SRM3 Combat Ready. Make sure to redeem it as soon as it appears, because the activations are limited. So get it in now as quickly as you can. You know what? Looking at that skin, Vivid, I should have had my keyboard ready at the same time too, because they're probably all gone by now.
I know, I got word that we were going to be doing some giveaways today, and I was like, man, I can't have my game loaded up while we're kind of casting.
Looks fire, that skin, man.
Bottleneck my PC a ton. But yeah, it does look fire. Quick reminder, like Toby mentioned, those activations are limited. You can actually redeem them in-game or on the website. But here we go. We're going to be jumping into Brakkesh and those tier 1 spawns. We kind of talked about how important they are when we jump over to Brakkesh. It's actually going to be 2 of our teams here. Team FPOV, they got a tier 1 spawn, and so did FLC, which is why we see both of these teams already over towards this museum area.
Oh, yeah. Seeing who can go for it first. Of course, it's a lot of people think that because you're the first one to get the Mandelbrick, because you're the one to claim it early on, there's also some, likelihood that you're going to be the one getting out with it in the end. That is by no means guaranteed. As a matter of fact, oftentimes I feel like the team that goes out and picks it and puts it in the coding station tends to be one of the first teams eliminated in the game, because all of a sudden all eyes are on them. So we'll see who becomes the team to dare to make a run for it. I'm only seeing one Tempest that usually would be the one you would send running for the break itself, but not seeing any overly big aggressive moves to try and claim the break early on here.
So as a quick reminder, it takes about 2 minutes for that ultimate to go ahead and recharge. So the fact that we jump in, there's 18 minutes left. I usually go ahead and tell everybody at home that once we hit that 16-minute mark on that timer up top, that's when our Tempest will have their first ultimate available. So just 15 seconds away for the side of MBA before they're going to be able to go ahead and pop that Tempest ult and probably get early control of that Mandelbrick.
Exactly. We'll see if it's going to hit on the timer. We're just going to stall for a bit longer as we get a look at everyone. As we were saying in the previous one, blues and purples were what's been fielded this time around. It's all purples with the exception of Mandelbrick Addiction opting to come in completely skinned of everything in terms of Kevlar and helmet. Just ammo to work with.
So we actually take note of what our teams are wearing once they load in. So I'm assuming that they had their armor kind of tucked away in their backpacks and or their rigs, and now they're probably wearing armor. But as you can see here, they're actually not going to be popping the Tempest ult to go ahead and get this Mandelbrick picked up. They're going to be just using their bodies as a full 3-man roster to go ahead and apply enough pressure to just go ahead and jump on over to this initial Mandelbrick spawn and pick it up. Now, with that being said, they've picked it up, but they've gone ahead and tucked themselves away into this building that's very, very close by. And all of our teams are going to be having that information required to potentially go ahead and prevent them from making any valuable rotation. So yeah, I'll be interested to kind of see how NBA play this one.
Interesting also because I feel like I've only ever once or twice in all the Brakkesh rounds I've casted seen a non-museum decoding station being used. It's been over on the Ashara camp or on the far west side towards the Blue Hotel, but for the most part, it's almost always in museum. But there are still a lot of people sat there kind of hungering down in that position. Both FLOORPOV and FLC are sat there kind of waiting for things to happen. So I'm not expecting NBA to opt to go back inside museum to use the decoding station, but we'll see. Still got 4 minutes to work with.
In that 4-minute timer that we see at the top of the screen, if you're the team that go ahead and pick up the initial Mandelbrick, you only have a total of 5 minutes to make something happen. In terms of making something happen, I mean, put it into a decoding station. Otherwise, it'll go ahead and reset to that initial spawn. But take a look at this. Alliance Crying are starting to get active here early on. A very rare fight to see this one kind of pop off towards the Tower of Babel. But on the back of them, finding the information necessary, Grind is going to be taken out selling here. And that's going to be an early advantage for Team Alliance here to potentially pick up a total of 3 kills if they're able to go ahead and run down these 2 remaining members.
Also, absolutely love the flank play that we saw come out there. Easy was clearly baiting. He was stood there using some abilities and whatnot to try and lure in WLG. Once he had fed the info across, and Grind could make the swing around the east side. Complete shutdown of Selen that just had, I mean, literally no clue what was about to hit him. So very, very smart playing coming in from Alliance early on. Who's already up to 1 mil as well in profits. Good on them to get off to a good start here.
Yeah, turning our attention back over towards the museum area. I think the idea here for Mandelbrick Addiction is going to be eventually to send their Tempest ult in to try to put this Mandelbrick down on the museum decoding station.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I could maybe think that they're kind of thinking about right now. But obviously they know there's 2 teams in there, so they don't want to go ahead and just give it away. They want to try to make something happen beforehand. But with that being said, they've only got 2 minutes and 20 seconds to kind of make something happen. Yeah. I guess in hindsight here, if they do go ahead and just wait out that 2-minute and 20-second timer, they're right next to that initial spawn point of the Mandelbrick anyway, so they can kind of just pick it right back up.
Yeah.
But so we'll have to see how that one kind of pans up. But take a look at this. Another has kind of joined the fray here, Team Fnatic. Obviously, we know that first that we saw kind of get picked up on the Zero Dam map. That one's gone and dusted. You can't
it didn't make it out.
Bring that second in. Well, I'd actually be curious to know whether or not they took the ammo out, because you can actually buy the You can't buy the ammo though. So if you get out with the ammo, you could potentially buy another to kind of bring it in.
Yeah. Also, I mean, it oftentimes seems that the team that does get off with the initial air supply will send one guy out early, like put all the valuables on him, run out with it. But I think the is really all value that Fnatic has found so far. Obviously could be well enough for them to say, you know what, we'll send one out, as they don't really look like they're playing for the Mandelbrick, but at the same time it hasn't been placed anyway, so why would they be in a hurry?
We've seen this happen before as well, where some of these maps actually don't have a Mandelbrick decoded at all.
Yeah, true.
And I mean, listen, I'll go ahead and mention it. All of our team, all 6 of these teams, we saw how Zero Dam went. They were not interested in fighting at all.
Yeah.
And that seems to be the overarching theme on Brakkesh as well. So I feel like all of our teams are just very, very timid today.
I feel like it comes out of a certain level of respect for their opposition as well, knowing that if we take a fight early and we mess it up in any way, shape, or form, we're going to be instantly punished. Like, everyone in this tournament are so incredibly good at the game that it keeps people from wanting to be the initiators of a lot of these fights. Also, they get very bundled up very quickly, of course, in some of the hot areas of the various maps. So it just comes with that much more danger in trying to take some of these fights if you don't have absolutely all info available. Only 20 seconds now on the Mandelbrick for it to be decoded, which I highly doubt is going to happen. So most likely it's going to reset, and then we'll see if Mandelbrick Addiction opts to run back for it.
Yeah, so a big reset going to be coming in here. We can see that second airdrop is kind of being prepared as well. As a quick note, we did see that one member of WLG go down amongst that little bit of a fight between Team Alliance. That little X on the left side of your screen, that goes ahead and denotes the fact that that member is no longer resable. So that timer has kind of ran out, so WLG will be a duo for the rest of this game. And Mandelbrick Addiction, the team have, yeah, they just jumped right back on the initial spawn point after it got reset, and they've tucked tail in the building once more. Listen.
You know what? I have a theory here. Maybe. Oh well, wait. Hold on, thought for a second. FLC. Dex does manage to fight the first one. Will this be a proper fight to come, or was it more of a warning shot? We'll see if they opt to fully engage in this.
FLC got to make something happen here, not only for their sake, but for ours as well. Up here on the casting desk, a 3v2 situation. You have the Shepherd, you have the Allure as well, so plenty of opportunity for them to go ahead and flush out these members, I would have to imagine. But now for the side of Team Fnatic, they have potentially got word that this fight is kind of happening, but hold up. Kind of push is starting to come in. I imagine that the utility is going to start to come in as well. But the defensive utility is actually holding FLC currently at bay, but Kobe goes ahead and jumps in. He's trying to go ahead and find the angle. That's going to be one knock found for the side of FLC, and only one member left remaining, but not for long. A clean sweep there from FLC, and I think with all of those shots that were kind of happening, NBA, they're like, yes, finally these teams are starting to fight. We can finally go ahead and jump into this museum building and put the Mandelbrick down. Now, Team NBA in full control.
Yeah, I think for Mandelbrick Addiction, they wanted that fight to be a little dirtier, though. I think they're really hoping that maybe you'll see FLC take a casualty or two as well, so they could come in and kind of just clean sweep the whole thing and clear it out altogether. But very, very good execution on the side of FLC in that fight there to come out without taking any casualties, barely taking any damage, as a matter of fact. So Alliance now, with the Mandelbrick having been placed, have started to look up in this direction towards the north.
The WLG being rendered as a duo, I think they've opted to go ahead and just surrender their efforts towards the Mandelbrick, opted to go ahead and just try to loot up. I did go ahead and see that Team Fnatic picked up the second airdrop. Of course, the initial one had that The second one looked like it had just a couple of reds for them to go ahead and stuff into their safe box, so that's why their profits have kind of soared up. WLG, again, that duo, their profits are also quite high, just on the back foot of them being a lot of the time to go ahead and loot the entirety of the tower. But 3 minutes remaining on this Mandelbrick, and with not a lot of total match timer to actually go ahead and make something happen here, it'll be very, very interesting to kind of see how this one pans out and whether somebody's able to secure this Mandelbrick at all.
Because that's, of course, also an important thing. One thing is, I mean, we're talking about rounds where they don't get placed at all, which is a rarity, but it does happen. But, of course, also potential that if the overall match timer goes down below 1.5 minutes or whatever the Mandelbrick timer is set at, well, the round just ends without the Mandelbrick being decoded at all. So a very likely outcome of this one. We'll see 2 minutes 20 left for Mandelbrick Addiction to potentially get it here, as they're now sat with opponents all around them.
One of the entry points, of course, that you have to defend is going to be that little bit of a lift. You can see they're trying to invest some of the utility towards that one, but Fnatic applying the pressure from there is going to make it very uncomfortable for NBA to actually go ahead and secure this Mandelbrick. And I'm taking a look at it. I hear some of the screams going off from one of our operators all the way up top. Scotty's trying to make something happen on the back of the pop, and the Tempest ult, but Team Alliance shut that one down immediately. Now, for the time being, yeah, of course, the Tempest can go ahead and revive, but NBA are going to be down to a duo before that one's actually able to come in. Bulldo is trying to make the sprays, trying to land the shots through the smoke to go ahead and hold off the Fnatic push, and he does. He finds the shots onto Raid Bull. Bullo's going to be finding that knock, and now Yulver is trying to make something happen as well. On the back foot of that, Skydie picks up a knock of his own. That's going to be Fnatic being full wiped.
Big elimination coming through there for the team that got themselves the airdrop earlier on. Now, nice Nate lopped on over, though. Kobe able to find himself a double. That could be the change for them to push in and take it, and it is, in fact, exactly what happens. They do get the reset. We're back up to 3+ minutes.
Amongst all of the chaos, though, unfortunately, Team NBA have been chopped down to just a solo, so they're going to have to reset. I think they do have the opportunity to go ahead and drag some of those bodies away from this decoding station in general. But again, I mentioned it, with not a lot of time left remaining on the match in general, just 6 minutes now, a 3-minute difference between the match and the decoding station. There's just not a lot of room for error getting knocked like that.
Oh, definitely.
That being said, there's just only 3 teams currently amongst the mix, Team FLC, Alliance, and MBA. But the duo from WLG, they've actually gone ahead and got a little bit closer to this museum area.
Senior is being lopped on in again, trying to make some space for themselves as Alliance wraps around the outside. One of only 2 teams left with all 3 players still on their feet. Are they going to make an aggressive move now, or is this more of a repositioning play? I think it might be waiting for another team to potentially come in and try and join the party here. I think they are well aware, too, that they're one of the healthier teams left on the server, so maybe just waiting for the right timing here.
Yeah, eventually they will go ahead and try to make something happen. You can see they're trying to, or for the side of FLC, they're trying to go ahead and defend this. It's going to be very, very hard just to defend this from the positions that they are currently playing. As a quick note, Team FLC, they've been able to go ahead and pick up 5 total kills. Easy actually just jumps across the open there. I was imagining that we're going to see a little bit of a smoke come out, but he actually opts to just go ahead and make that rotation 2 times. The very daring man indeed. But it's going to work out. Alliance now have control over the Mandelbrick.
Incredible timing with minimal abilities used to make that cross happen. A little bit of fire looming in front of him, doing enough to deny the vision, allowing him both in and out to reset this one proper. In the meantime, while all this is going on, WLG, they are very pleased with getting the tower on the south side of Apple to themselves. They've been looting and looting and looting some more, now making their way up towards Museum again, up to 4.3 mil in profits so far.
Team NBA, by the way, have been able to reset just a little bit. They're now to a duo, so the Tempest has been res for their side. If that ultimate does get activated for them, they'll be able to go ahead and make this steal happen. But just 2 minutes remaining for this decoding station before one of our teams are going to be forced to go ahead and steal it back. And only 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And 45 seconds on that match timer. Toby, I don't know. This one might go all the way down to a point in this match where nobody picks up this mana break.
I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, I completely agree with you. I don't think that this is going to be taken at all. Just given how teams are currently positioned and how so many are set around here, but not really too eager to make the run for it. If it gets stolen anywhere within the next 40 seconds, it's going to be, well, after I should say, it's going to be practically impossible for it to be made out with. We'll see how big this potential final fight of the game is going to be, which should be coming up real soon as we're down to under 1 minute and 30.
Team Alliance trying to go ahead and defend this mana brick from the side of FLC. Taking a look at the comp here for the side of FLC, they have plenty of utility to go ahead and flush out some of these angles here. You can see the Allure wall kind of being thrown right there to block off one of the angles. But what's going to happen once some of these other teams, the likes of WLG and NBA, the 2 teams that have just a duo left remaining, what's going to happen when they actually decide to go ahead and join the mix?
We'll have to wait in the same grind. A little bit of a miss of a util throw there. Would have wanted it to go through the small window, but not quite the case. 45 seconds on the clock as teams are slowly starting to make their way on forward. Now Kobe goes down, gets flushed with it too. Saloa also falls down as FLC tries to make a small move forward, but Alliance completely stopping them in their tracks. Now down to 30 seconds.
That might have been it. That might have been exactly what they needed to go ahead and secure this mana brick. We just mentioned that it didn't look like they were going to be able to do it. But with FLC down and with Team Alliance kind of having a big advantage in terms of the numbers here, you have to imagine that with only 15 seconds remaining, I mean, what could the likes of WLG or NBA actually do to kind of go ahead and fend this one off? 10 seconds remaining for Team Alliance. Go ahead and secure our first mana break. Scooby, he's trying to go ahead and jump into the mix. He's trying to go ahead and jump into the smoke to make something happen. He finds the shots from the smoke. That was going to be the last point of defense for the Team Alliance, but he's forced to go ahead and get off of the steal. He's forced to go ahead and take out Grind, and in doing so, Team Alliance are netted the Mandelbrick. They're going to be the ones to pick up the first one of the day.
The fact that it almost came down to the duo of the first team taking casualties, having to go out and risk it all for it, and he would have had it had he been just 1 second earlier on the move. They're so close, but the Alliance off to a great start here, getting themselves the break.
Still a little bit of work to be done for all of our last remaining members. Remember, these kills are worth a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, 800,000 alloy, and then on the leaderboard itself, definitely worth fighting for. But Lynx has taken a lot of damage from a bunch of players that he cannot see on the back foot, or just utility finding its way into this little bit of a hiding spot that he has. And by the way, NBA are just trying to kind of be a little bit of a nuisance. You can hear them just activating and deactivating that lift over and over and over again. That's Boldo kind of applying the pressure. And this time, he's actually going to go ahead and take it up. We'll have to see if he can find the angle here.
Yeah, has a chance maybe of a shot at Lynx. You can see he stood in there ready and waiting for exactly this to happen. As WLG now make the run on forward. Can they find him on the outside? Get the swing in. The first one, the jump shot comes through, and they do get the elimination. Arco able to find him. Now let's see if there's a push to follow from Mandelbrick Addiction.
Boldo's trying to go ahead and land the shots, and land the shots he does indeed. Unfortunately for the side of Oko, though, he cannot help his teammate there in Scooby, as he was very, very low, but the heal has come in. Take a look at this. Now it's going to be a 2v1. NBA are trying to make something happen. They were the first ones that had early access to that mana brick, but when everything is all said and done, Team Alliance, they walk away with the mana brick, but Team NBA on their way out, they pick up just a couple of kills. I doubt they're going to feel like that one was worth it, especially when you think about the fact that they invested one of their Tempest usages there on Brakkesh. But Team Alliance, man, they got to be feeling very, very good about how that one panned out.
Definitely. I feel you can see, I mean, I'm feeling good, sure, but also a bit of a sigh of relief there, as they are well pleased that no more teams opted to contest them early on. I mean, their fight against FLC, we didn't get to see the main portion of it, but it looked like it was kind of a half push come through, and they were just so quick in taking out that entire team. So good on Alliance for being able to make that happen on Brakkesh.
3 kills and 1,300 damage. That's,
oh, yeah.
That is a big difference. You would imagine with a 1,300 damage, they would have had way more kills with that. But that is what is required when you go ahead and secure a mana brick. It's just all about defending it, doing enough damage to go ahead and make your enemies think twice. You can see Team Alliance, 3 kills, a Mandelbrick in tow as well. FLC making a great run at it as well with 5 kills of their own. And actually, Mandelbrick Addiction there with 5 total kills. I thought that they only picked up those 2 towards the end of that one, but they were able to go ahead and squeak in a total of 5. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the top killers from game number 2 there on Brakkesh. It's going to be NBA Boldo, actually, and Skydie. 2 members of NBA kind of joining the ranks here in the top 3, and we see Scooby as well. So the 2 teams that kind of found themselves as a duo in the later stages of that one were actually the ones that walked away with the most kills.
Yeah, keep in mind that Scooby's, both of his kills came through after they had lost their first player down in the south side towards the tower. So good on him for getting active, even though they were only left as a duo. Then, of course, I mean, for Grind, he was just on point from the very first fight on that south side against WLG up until the very last moment. So good playing all the way through. Also important to mention, I mean, Alliance weren't really in contesting for the Mandelbrick early on. There were 3 teams up there, but they came up very late after kind of forcing WLG further down south and taking out the first player of their team. So good on Alliance for kind of bouncing back up north after that was over.
Scooby there, 1.4 million. Of course, that was all in the safe box. That was just them looting up that Tower of Babel early on, and they've walked away with some alloys to go ahead and support that. Our MVP is actually going to be Boldo. We'll be seeing this a bunch throughout the day. Our member, or at least a team member that's not actually on the team, that kind of walked away with a mana break, because it does kind of favor those individuals that pick up the most amount of kills. And we already kind of took a look at the breakdown there, the individual kill leaderboard. Boldo was up top with 600 damage as well, 1 assist, and it's kind of funny, assets gained. 0.
Yeah, so a whooping total of 36 operators have now hopped out of a plane or helicopter or whatever they choose, and 0 have extracted so far. It's 2 rounds in, and we have yet to see a single extraction. That is not something I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, very, very rare for us because, again, it's so important for some of these members to go ahead and actually extract, to go ahead and boost their economy up to a level that they kind of feel confident in playing with throughout the rest of the day. Not to mention, we have now seen 2 OMs kind of just go ahead and disappear from these games as well. We have yet to kind of get word on whether or not these OM bullets have actually made their way out of the match, because if they have, then there will be potential later on for them to actually buy the sniper rifle itself and then loaded up with those bullets.
Exactly. Well, we are now going to go to the first, yet another break after this one, as Alliance did themselves their first Mandelbrick of the day. See you again in a few.
Two members, now the odds are in their favor, 2v1. Everything getting spammed away, and MT getting a little... So hang on a second, NL! Look at that! It's an absolute sweat! This... And LG's gotta know that they're here. Lines them up, even through the shot. You're nuts! The last remaining 3 BOV, they find 2 instant knocks. The Elm's gonna be hopping out for that.
Got the Mandelbricks. Find and stop them. Mandelbricks decoded. Nice work, operator.
The time to strike is now. Do not let me down, operator.
Decoding has begun. Defend the area.
Is about to take the first Mandelbrick of the tournament. And they're going to do it.
What goes around, comes around.
Oh, not gonna do very much. Though. You get barrel stuff. Skydie is getting aggressive.
See what I did there? You ain't seen nothing yet.
Let's knock them off their feet.
There we go. Much damage, and there it is.
Yet another passive approach to the game here in EMEA as we get back on the Rise series here once more. Having said that, though, Alliance were able to net themselves the first Mandelbrick of the day. Fnatic fell short of doing that. Mandelbrick Addiction, the ones to place it in the station to begin with, also fell short as we now get ready for tight press. And a look here at the overall leaderboard.
Alliance, of course, going to be our team in first place with that Mandelbrick in their possession. FLC Clan, though, our team with the most amount of squad points on the back foot of them, having 9 total kills. So they're going to be in second place. And NBA not too far behind with 11 of their own. WLG actually tying them in that category with 11 as well. Still a lot to kind of be played for, but a lot of pressure coming out from the side of Team Alliance when we do eventually jump into some more of those Mandelbrick rounds. But first, we have to jump over to game number 3. It's going to be Tide Prison, another opportunity for our teams to go ahead and build their banks and their arsenal. A quick look at the operator picks here. Only a couple have been grayed out by some of our teams, and this is where we're going to see that column of Noxes and probably hack calls be utilized very, very in depth. You can see here the most popular operators, to nobody's surprise. It's usually Hacklaw, and then sometimes we see double Nox utilized as well.
Nox so popular, they're bringing up on that board twice on the same graphic. 33% pick rate here in Tide Prison. That, I mean, now that we're back to an air supply round, once again, we're stalling with the Mandelbricks for just one round here. Looking back at Zero Dam and how passive the approach of a lot of the teams were to that round, what are you expecting, Vivid, now as we obviously come into quite a bit more confined spaces here on Tide Prison?
Well, we usually see Tide Prison amongst all of our lobbies play very, very passively, and Toby kind of mentioned it. Our first 2 games of the day, 0 extractions so far, and we've pretty much had to wait until there's about 5 minutes remaining in any single one of these matches to actually get some of these fights start to go ahead and kick off. And with that being said, it looks like we have a total of 6 teams that are opting to play pretty passive on a map that naturally plays very passive in the competitive setting here. So Tide Prison, I would imagine that we are in for quite a quiet one, but maybe our teams will prove us wrong. Still a lot to play for, still the opportunity to make sure you have an advantage in terms of the economy going into the space cities of the day.
Oh yeah, Space City galore coming up momentarily. But first, Tide Prison here. And I guess what's good with Tide Prison is that if the players don't opt to shoot at each other, usually the AI will join in on that fight. They pack a pretty good punch here on Tide, so we'll see what's gonna happen once the revolver wielder gets enabled.
Double Alduru from the side of Mandelbrick.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Addiction here. Definitely a little bit of an odd one, and the reason why I'm going to go ahead and note it as an odd one is because Alduru finds a lot of value on those Mandelbrick rounds, so using both of them here, to me, feels a little bit weird, but obviously every single team prefers different comps than everybody else, which is, you know, what makes the competition so interesting. So not interested in using Aldurus when it comes down to any of the Mandelbrick rounds, but instead utilizing it on Tide Prison. That being said, they'll probably have a little bit more in terms of utility to actually fight with. So keep a close eye on whether or not NBA seems to be a team that is trying to play aggressive.
We'll see if that's going to be the case here or not, as everyone's getting looted up early on. No one really in a hurry. FLOORPOV opting to spread out quite thin early on here to go out and get some info. Loot today creates advantages tomorrow. I love some of these one-liners that we have. If the team didn't already feel good, then a little bit of motivation coming in from the lower third is always nice.
We have a couple of our teams that are actually pretty well noted as spread out. They're pretty much nowhere near their teammates. Team FPOV are very far apart from one another, and then so are Team Alliance. So a lot of area kind of being controlled by a couple of our teams, but as we do kind of jump around to what some of our other teams are doing, again, they're kind of just riding away as 3-man rosters, and this is one of those positions that we kind of talked about. Yersei here is going to be laying all the way up top, trying to go ahead and listen for those audio cues on that zip line to see if anybody's trying to make something happen. But on the other side of things, FLC, again, they're kind of moving as a 3-man unit, but haven't moved far.
No, it's been quiet so far. No big drops coming in yet either. A few goals. We saw the crown just moments ago, but no red pickups just yet, as teams, of course, venturing further forward. We are starting to see a bit of movement, not just everyone hiding behind pillars, but getting the game going. Still in here, just wiping his hands, palms sweaty, you know, a lot of pressure, knowing that you're up against some of the best in the world here.
Starting to see as well why a lot of our teams bring in Morris on a map like Tide Prison.
Yeah.
We do see Team FLC have it, and Team FPOV have a Morris of their own. It's going to be pretty much their information, how they're going to dictate whether or not they want to rotate somewhere. If they go ahead and put that Morris alt down and they see there's operators up ahead of them, then they're probably not going to go that way. And that's going to be pretty much the similar strategy that some of our other teams have done with a operator like Hacklaw, pretty much the same use case scenario. That being said, take a look at this. Team Alliance are starting the rain of reds, as they like to call it on Tide Prison, the graphics card coming in.
Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully it's one of many more to come. We'll see if that's going to be the case or if it's just a bait. You get one, and that's going to do it for the round. It's, of course, airdrop, not too far away here either. It's just 3 minutes out. So I'm sure that if nothing is being fought over right now, the Alliance down on the waterfront will have a little bit of competition for the drop, as it doesn't seem like anyone's really fighting for anything else right now anyway.
I am actually liking it. I don't usually talk about the individual weapon builds, but Boldo over there on the M249, he was finding so much value with that on Brakkesh. I really like it. And there's been a couple of times over the course of this Rise series where we have seen those machine guns pretty much be the difference maker. Again, just pretty much just having more bullets to go ahead and just spray sometimes through some of these smokes that get thrown down and stuff like that. I've really enjoyed watching some of these players utilize a gun like this. And Boldo, we kind of saw how good he was with it on Brakkesh as well. So just to kind of quickly note that 60 rounds available to Boldo here. If he sees a smoke, he's probably just going to be shooting at it.
Oh, yeah. No doubt. No doubt. Also, just, I mean, right now, of course, it's they're somewhat stacked up on the side of Mandelbrick Addiction, but even more so when you're playing out on your own, like, makes it a lot easier to take those potential 1v2s. Maybe not so much 1v3s, but at least 1v2s if you have no need for reloading all the way through that entire engagement. So CSLOA able to get himself into the safe. Will be... Oh, well, never mind. We won't get to see what he picks up. I guess it will be noted if he does get something worth of value.
The old bait and switch. So close to getting the dopamine hit there on the...
But no.
On the safe, but... All right. Tide Prison, all about looting in the first 10 minutes, no matter what teams are kind of going head-to-head, with groups B and D going head-to-head. I mentioned it. It's going to be very, very passive. That being said, some of our teams trying to kind of make something happen here with some of the contracts around the map. You can kind of hear the beeping going off. You can also see that I think there's going to be a Nox ult going off somewhere as well. I kind of saw the UI kind of going off right there from the side of WLG. But now, FPOV, I kind of noted them as one of the teams that were very spread apart earlier on in the first couple of minutes. They've actually opted to go ahead and regroup here, and WLG are very, very close, just basically through a doorway directly ahead of them. So we'll have to see if they can kind of make anything happen.
Everyone knows it's tensing up here. It's just under a minute left for the airdrop to be prepared, and everyone's creeping closer and closer towards one another. Here it's FLOORPOV and WLG that are sat, as you said, a bit right across one wall here. But who, again, I mean, is going to be the initiators in all of this, because so far what we've seen in the last two games, no one really dares to go out and make a move here.
Fnatic looks like completing that contract that is required on a map like Tide Prison to get access to some of that gear. For them, it's going to be the M82 this time around. They're going to be having that again. And a quick reminder, remember, Fnatic were the team that picked up one of those airdrops on Brakkesh, and now they've gone ahead and opted to play for it once more, playing for that contract. So a couple of times now they've had access to those sniper rifles. Again, we haven't gotten the information on whether or not they're kind of just using that ammo to stuff it away in the 3x3 safe box to basically go ahead and opt to just buy the sniper rifles again in some of the following rounds and keep the ammo safe. But we do know that the arms themselves, the sniper rifles themselves, have not made their way out of the matches.
Exactly. Correct me if I'm wrong here, because obviously your experience in the game is superior to mine, but I do believe I saw in one of the lower thirds earlier that the arm ammo, actually at this point, like in the new tournament format, you can't save it in your safe boxes.
Oh, can you not? Okay.
I believe that's part of the rule change coming into the Rise series, that you can't save it. That's also maybe why we're seeing teams be a little more, you know, a little more loose with the ammo, because they know that if they don't extract it anyway, they won't actually be able to bring it down. Or bring it out, I mean.
Man, I was hyping it up, man. I was like, oh, we're going to be seeing some arms join the fray earlier on, and those hopes and dreams have Been squandered.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm the squanderer of dreams. That's. Hopefully, Groth can do something about that. Come on, AI, Mr. Protected Man, go out and get something cool done. Because right now it's very quiet. We're 15 seconds away from the airdrop landing on the south side, and the Lions have actually opted to play further north out of that position. We'll see if they do opt to swing back and pick it up, but right now they're in a bit of a stalemate with Mandelbrick addiction, so no real hurry for them to go and make a move for it.
Yeah, I mean, some of our teams just not interested in playing for what is typically denoted as the most valuable things on a map like Tide Prison again. Fnatic, yeah, they went ahead and completed the contract. They got that weaponry, and actually taking a look at their rotate all the way on the north side of the map, it looks like they're going to be interested in making their way over to the backpack extract, potentially sending out that M82 sniper rifle. But yeah, nobody kind of playing for that airdrop all the way to the south, and it's completely free. But hold up. Take a look at this. A 2 million alloy red there from Kobe.
Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. That's FNC, or Fnatic, I should say. Continue their move on forward. What do they get? Anything interesting? Just one of the horns.
Trying to keep a close eye on whether or not Team Fnatic actually do send out one of their members, but to the left side here, you can kind of see right here, actually, we're going to get a quick glimpse of that 3x3 kind of being picked up again. That's going to be safe. Put that away in the 3x3 safe box. So no matter what, that's going to be a 2 million alloy swing for the likes of FLC here, which is why if you do take a look at the left side, their profits are just so high, upwards of 3 million. And for everybody else, just barely cresting 1 million for a couple of our teams. So I kind of talked about it. The reign of reds seemingly has not come in to play today. I will say, Toby, there was a Tide Prison last week in week number 1 of Rise Series. It was the most amount of reds I've ever seen be picked up on Tide Prison. I think our counter was upwards of like 10 or something like that.
Oh,
it was
wow.
just constant. And this time around, I think we've gotten like 2 or 3. So
yeah, completely
different.
Yeah, it's a little quiet right now. Maybe it's because they're being too passive. The game's like, guys, if you don't go out and risk it, we're not going to give you all the cool loot, you know? So we'll see. We'll see maybe if they step it up a bit in terms of go out and contesting one another. And we'll see it all go up. As I say that, Grind able to find the first knock and flush of the game as Raven falls as well. It's the AI taking out one another. Grind, though, able to find James early on. Fnatic taking casualties here.
Gary, reminder, Team Fnatic were the team with that M82, and so they're going to be down numbers. Now, we don't know specifically who actually had that sniper rifle, but take a look at this. Team Alliance were trying to make some of that happen onto the door of MBA, and they've actually kind of been flushed down to this underground area down here in this medical key card room.
I did love the timing of that play, though. As soon as you open the door, they saw that Incendiary come flying in right behind him. It was a nice setup. I just don't think it flew far enough for him to really make an aggressive play on the position there. So we see walls being deployed now as Hacklaw makes the run on forward, trying to see what they can find on the opposite side. Everyone kind of scrambling. The airdrop is still yet to be looted. Maybe that's what Alliance is aiming for now.
Yeah, 6 minutes remaining. I think some of our teams are going to try to go ahead and work their way over to this static extract on a map like Tide Prison all the way down here to the helicopter pad. You can see it's going to get activated in just 45 seconds, but that's not specifically when the extract itself is going to go off. It'll be a couple of more minutes, so plenty of time for some of our teams to still make their way down there. That being said, it does look like Team Fnatic have gone ahead and got the res off onto the Jam, so they're back to 3 operators up for them. And yeah, you were kind of questioning what Team Alliance were trying to do. It looks like they pretty much spent the last minute actually just rotating around to potentially get another angle onto the team of MBA here.
Yeah, trying to reposition. They know they're just on the other side, and maybe, I mean, all of the knock and flush coming in Fnatic earlier on, they know there's a third team nearby, so maybe if they could kind of sheep herd them towards one another, cause a fight there, get the kills and the airdrop to follow, because they went back to check it, saw that it wasn't taken, and then now just play further off of it. So we'll see if they opt to engage with as we go under 5 minutes left in the game here again. Very passive, this lobby of B versus D.
More assaults going off, trying to get the information necessary. But, I mean, yeah, still just very, very passive. Just 4 minutes. And, yeah, we've had a knock, but you can see all 18 of our operators still healthy and alive. What's going to be the game plan here for all of our teams to try to make something happen? Again, they keep doing this. They keep waiting until the very last couple of moments here. But take a look at this. Alliance. Grind is going to be finding a knock there onto Skyty. Remember, Team NBA were kind of tucked away, hiding in this little bit of an office area, but the shots were found. But with Fnatic in close proximity, it'll be very, very hard for Team Alliance to actually make something happen on the back of them finding an advantage here.
When in doubt, call for Grind, because he's been the only one actually taking fights so far. He got the first one of Fnatic, and now he finds himself one more. We'll see what he gets with it. Oh, he's brought down to real low health. Has to try and see if he can get out of here, but no, not quite the case. It's Groth. The AI finds him as he tries to disengage. I told you the Warden here, he's out for blood.
Yes, trying to go ahead and stir the pot there is going to be the boss of the map. Trying to make some of these teams make something happen. You can see here over towards the extract, WLG have opted to go ahead and just send a single member. By the way, this is just selling. His other two teammates are nowhere near, so...
But what does he have that's worth?
Yeah, actually, he's not going to extract. He's not even jumping on the extract himself.
Yeah,
the extract was just going off, and he didn't even opt to go ahead and take it.
I was going to say, if he leaves and their total team value sits at under 600,000, then what's the point in making the run off? But no, he opts to stay. Let's take this one out. We'll see as more ults now being deployed. We'll see a full-blown fight comes off. But you'd have to imagine with them being this much on top of one another, an Alliance, Mandelbrick Addiction, and Fnatic sat shoulder to shoulder.
Boldo's trying to make something happen with that M249. Unfortunately for him, though, he's going to be chopped down early here by the likes of Fnatic, who have finally joined the fray. NBA are going to be our first team that's going to be fully eliminated from Tide Prison, but Fnatic, they hear a res going off. They want to try to make something happen, but unfortunately, they are a little hesitant. And with a little bit of time that was allotted there to the likes of Alliance, they have gotten the res off, and they're going to be back to a 3-man roster. We have 5 teams that all have 3 members remaining in just 2 minutes. Again on Tide Prison to try to make something happen.
So this begs the question, will we get an extract on Tide Prison, or is everyone staying through the end of it? Lynx, though, finds the gem again. That's him going down second time around, so he's just instantly gonna be out of this one as Raidful swings the corner, but Lynx, perfect angle for him once more. Can't quite connect the shots, though.
Timer is going to apply the pressure here. These teams are going to want to try to find some sort of value out of this. Reminder, every single kill is worth 1 squad point, and every single kill is also worth 800,000 alloys. So these kills are pretty much worth fighting for, which is why a lot of our teams are kind of opting to not go for some of the extracts and instead try to play for some of these kills. That being said, you don't got a lot of time left to work with here. If you want to actually pick up these kills, you got to make something happen soon, as there's just 60 seconds remaining.
Gonna do with the time that you have here, Raidful. Oh, nice 180, finds easy. He made it look easy too. He swings the corner, needs to go back down to get healed on up his bind. Now sat on the backside of this, tried to go out around the corner with flashlight up and available, gets the spider running. He's trying to see if he can find him through the crossbars, but so difficult to get the proper angle there. Lynx able to back off, jump off the catwalk, get into good position as Easy does get flushed in the end of it. Now FLOORPOV and WLG fighting as well.
We did actually see a couple of trades go down. You can see FPOV, they pick up one of the trades of their own. So it's going to be a 2v2 up here between the likes of WLG and FPOV. And I mentioned it as a 2v2. No, it's going to be another team in the mix here. It's going to be FLC, who are trying to kind of deny some of these kills for actually being found out. And it's just a couple of knocks. You can see Obsess is trying to go ahead and find that full right there. And he is going to be successful in doing so. And now only 10 seconds remaining. I mean, are we going to have this many operators left alive? Just like an absolute absence of kills. Scooby's trying to make something happen in the last remaining seconds, but that's pretty much going to be it. I mean, Jax goes down in the end as well as FPOV pick up a last second kill there, but a very, very timid Group B versus Group B throughout these first 3 games, and it was on full display in Tide Prison as well.
I feel like I can tell in your voice, Vivid, that there are other words you would want to use to describe what we're watching, but you feel like you can't use them because I love the fact that we saw Scooby in the end there make a run for it because he was the one with the red 3x3. So at least he gets out of this one with something. Whereas the vast majority of the rest of the players here, they're going to be back to full reset once more. 3 games in, not a single extract so far.
As you can see here, the best team on Tide Prison here, we're going to go ahead and give that one over to Team Alliance. I think that's just going to be solely because of their ability to go ahead and pick up 3 kills. I would be very surprised if any individual team was actually able to secure 3 kills for themselves. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. We did have a tie. Team Alliance picked up 3, as did Fnatic, but you could see the value in terms of the alloys very, very low outside of the likes of FLC, who we did go ahead and see pick up that $2 million server that was able to be kept safe in the 3x3 safe box. And let's go ahead and take a look at some of our top killers here. Obsessed towards the top with 2, tied away with Grind and Raidable.
Yeah, tricky one there. Raidable topping the damage bolts in the end of it. So again, I mean, former R&B player, when they were playing on that roster, such a threat on the server mechanically. Whenever, I mean, even if his team goes down, take the first loss early on, he's always good for 1, oftentimes good for 2, and showing here as well.
Yep, going through here, 0 assists as well, actually find their way up into top 3 just because of how much of a lack of kills that we actually saw on Tide Prison. Kobe, of course, going to be our highest asset earner. Again, that server he was able to pick up, being worth 2 mil alone, is able to go ahead and net him that. And you can see a big drop off between the likes of Uvelier and Grind, 600k and 400k there, respectively. The economy is honestly going to be struggling, I feel like, for a lot of these teams. But our MVP of game number 3 is going to be Fnatic Raidable himself, picking up 2 kills, 50,000 assets, and 464 damage.
Yeah, I mean, numbers might not be too flattering, but in the end, a very carefully played out game here, which of course, I mean, between Group B and D, they're looking at the leaderboard right now going, we're down the bottom. I know that Group A and C played more on the first week, but we got to do something to get bounced back up there as fast as we can. And maybe because they're being, I don't want to say hesitant, but maybe because they're being a passive, it's kind of coming to bite them. As we can see here, neither of the teams outside of one player really getting out with a whole lot here.
Yep, without a doubt, our first 3 games, the action has come in the later stages of the game. But when we jump over into Space City in game number 4 and all of our following rounds, Mandelbricks are going to force these teams to fight. We'll be right back for all of those games in just a short while.
Two members, now the odds are in their favor, 2v1. Everything getting spammed away, and MT getting a little solo. Hang on a second, NL. Look at that, it's an absolute sweat. And LG's got to know that they're here. Lines them up, even through the shock, you're nuts. For the last remaining 3 BOV, they find 2 instant knocks. The Helm's going to be hopping off that.
Hello, I'm Moko. I play for the team WLGaming, and I'm the recon engineer, and I gel for the team. So basically, I used to play Rust. I have a lot of hours on Rust. A friend of mine introduced me to the game very early, like on season 3. I became quite good at it over the past 1 year, got the chance and became a pro player. So Scoob, I found him on pubs, and then I ended up playing scrims with him, and I liked how he's played. And then Selen, I found him through a friend of mine, Grind, on scrims, and then he was very good and we played together as well. To be honest, my team was very, let's say, bad at the beginning, but over time, grinding and experiencing one of the hardest losses we have ever experienced on our first DFGL game, not qualifying for the grand finals for just a bit. We grinded so much and practiced so much together that I feel like our team is unstoppable right now. Basically, on the last round of DFGL, the round that we needed to win in order to go to the grand finals. My team had 1 brick, we team had 1 more, and we found ourselves in a situation where we got pinched between 3 teams. If you could hear our comms, it was the most chaotic audio you would ever hear in your life, and we ended up paying the price for it. Yeah, the most heart adrenaline pump that you will ever see in a game like Dota, and to be honest, it's the most amazing feeling I have ever felt over my gaming career. Is basically when you're alone defending the brick. There's like a couple of seconds remaining, like 5 seconds remaining on the brick, and you're alone, and you know you need to find a couple of knocks in order for the team to not steal the brick, and that gets you pumping for days. You remember that feeling for a long time, and that's one of the things that I love about the game. A very hard question to answer, but from what I've seen right now and how the teams play, I can confidently say that we can win this entire thing. 100% we can show the world that one of the best Greek orgs can compete in a national, like a European level.
The enemy got the Mandelbrick. Find it. Stop them. Mandelbrick decoded. Nice work, operator.
The time to strike is now. Do not let me down, operator.
Decoding has begun. Defend the area.
Is about to take the first Mandelbrick of the tournament, and they're going to do it!
What goes around, comes around.
Very much. You get barrel stuff. Skydie is getting aggressive.
See what I did there? You ain't seen nothing yet.
Let's knock them off their feet.
There we go. Much damage, and there it is.
The air supply rounds are all done as we now head over to Mandelbrick galore on Space City Alliance. Now with a chance to finish the day off this very match, unless if some of the other teams can go out and deny them potential second Mandelbrick. Welcome back, everyone, to the Rise Series. I'm Toby, joined by Vivid. And Vivid, it's been a quiet day so far, but something tells me that now that we're heading on over to Space City, we're gonna see things pace up a bit.
Yeah, the opportunity to be quiet is going to dwindle here. Take a look at this. Team Alliance, our only team so far with a Mandelbrick. We have only had 1 Mandelbrick round, so they are going to be, feeling pretty good jumping over to these Mandelbrick rounds, but they are also going to be a team applying a lot of pressure to all of our other teams. The opportunity now for Team Alliance to kind of end the day early. They could do so in game number 4. They could do it in game number 5 or number 6. See if they can go ahead and do it before we make our way all the way to game number 7. FLC Clan, they're feeling pretty good. Their squad points are up there 14. And we actually remain tied between the teams of NBA and WLG there. They both have 12 apiece. FLOORPOV and Fnatic towards the bottom of the leaderboard. But what we love about this format is that anything can happen. It doesn't matter if you're towards the bottom of the leaderboard right now, because the fact that any team could go ahead and pick up 2 Mandelbricks and just win outright regardless of their squad points is what gives these teams hope.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. As you can see, 3 Space Cities in a row, and then coming over to the final one could potentially be a Brakkesh, could be a Space City. Depends. The last place team gets to choose which map they want to play should we go all the way to round number 7. As we now, again, take a look at the operator picture. More being grayed out. Gizmo's been double picked by WLG, so they won't have him. But now that we're in Space City, we are looking at a lot of Lunas and a lot of Tempests to be picked up.
Yep, without a doubt there. This is where it starts to be kind of some strategy starts to be employed as well with some of these comps. Like some of our teams are probably thinking about, well, we don't have a tier 1 spawn, so maybe we don't bring in our Tempest right now. Maybe we kind of save that away. But then it also begs the question, can you actually save it away, right?
Yeah.
Remember, Team Alliance could potentially go ahead and end things here early. Do you want to go ahead and leave it up to chance? Take a look at some of our most popular operators as it pertains to Space City specifically. The comp in general that we do see the most, of course, is going to be Stinger, Luna, and Tempest, which is why we see these three operators find themselves in the category of the most popular.
We'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if pretty much all teams are going to be fielding these specific three, or at least a good half of them will be. That's a 22% pick rate for Tempest. I've yet to see people up to double use Tempest just because of the value that having one brings into each round. But maybe there's a world where that happens someday. I don't think Space City or today is going to be that day, though.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at some of those spawns. As a quick reminder, you cannot get the same tier of spawn in back-to-back games. So if you got a tier 2 spawn last game, you cannot get a tier 2 spawn this game, which is why we see the tier 1 possibility here for the likes of NBA, FLC, WLG, and Fnatic, which for anybody kind of watching from home and hoping that this one goes the distance all the way to game number 7, there's a lack of Team Alliance actually in that tier 1 spawn, as they did get that tier 1 spawn over on Tide Prison. So they won't have early access to the Mandelbrick, but they still could, of course, play for it later on throughout the game.
I feel like that Westgate tier 1 spawn is one of the most bait tier 1 spawns in the game, because I feel like every single game on Space City always starts with the observers going straight over to the Northwest tier 3 spawn, seeing them hunt down and try and catch the tier 1 team running for the brick in the center early on. And that's where the first fight is, as they sit and wait for that gate to be opened. You see a lot of times that teams take casualties in that specific position, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's going to be the case here again.
All right, we're going to be jumping into another one of these break giveaways before we jump into round number 4. A redeemable code this time around for 1,000 Delta tickets. Redeem it as quickly as you can before all of the activations are claimed. You can redeem it in-game or on the official Delta Force website. 1,000 Delta tickets.
Damn.
Gosh, you guys I know are so lucky that I'm a little busy right now and I cannot go ahead and opt to claim these for myself.
Yeah, we get left behind. Oh, we get to cast the games. Can't really complain too much about that, I suppose, but would be nice. With little tickets in the pocket here, as we see this one coming off to a Starladder Alliance. The one's on match point currently, ready to get a move on. And this is exactly what I was talking about before. Look at the amount of utility being spammed already over towards that west gate, but the smokes have been deployed. The run-on through has been set on, and FLOORPOV with their tier 1 spawn will make their way through. But this was the exact area I was talking about where Fnatic tried to see if they could cut off FPOV.
I want to go ahead and note some of the operators being used here. We actually only see 2 Tempests across the board here. Team FLC and Team FPOV are going to be the only 2 teams opting to go ahead and pull this one out. But take a look at this. Sell-in. Oh, no. Grind was kind of laying in tow. I'm not entirely sure what the gameplay there was for Grind. He was kind of staying behind his 2 teammates to try to potentially go ahead and pick up some information on where some of our teams were rotating. But he gets picked up there, and he actually gets dropped down into the water. So the res itself is going to be pretty easy for Team Alliance to go ahead and find this one. But whilst we go ahead and watch this res kind of come in, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the loadouts here. We see NBA have actually opted to bring in some of the gold armor, as has FLC.
Playing big. They want all of it, especially considering the fact that no one's been able to extract yet. It goes to show what value everyone has to save. I mean, I feel like the ones that are bringing in full golds in rounds like these, knowing what little they've brought in prior, they're pretty much going all in. Like, they want the Mandelbricks in these rounds, FLC and NBA, that is.
All right, we're about to hit that 16-minute mark here. Team NBA are going to be one of the teams that has early access to this Mandelbrick, but with the lack of a Tempest and the fact that the boss is in the center of the map, it would actually be pretty difficult for them to make any sort of rotation toward this initial Mandelbrick. And that being said, I mean, we can see from where we are currently looking that NBA are a team that is, of course, in the center of the map. But outside of them, there's only Team FLC.
Ooh.
And all 4 of our other teams have actually not even made their way to the center of the map in general yet. So very passive as we kick things off here. Team FPOV and Team Alliance are going to potentially get themselves into a fight. That Luna dart, by the way, from the side of FPOV, Blake sending that one, did pick up on the location of Link. So they do know that a team is in the general area.
Exactly, and what will they get with it? Not a lot to start things off, though. Yersei jumps for info early on and gets immediately picked apart by Easy. What a great shot coming through from the Alliance player. Nice off angle there as they continue to push on forward.
Yeah, super difficult once we jump over to some of these later rounds to actually handle some of these marksman rifles and sniper rifles that start to pretty much come out 100% of the time for some of our teams. Does so much damage, and some of these headshots landing from gold bullets and a marksman rifle onto a purple helmet sometimes just does way too much damage. But Team Alliance, our team in first place, and a Mandelbrick already captured. You guys are up 3v2 in this fight. I know we've been pretty passive throughout the day, but now's your chance to play aggressive.
They're going for it. They did allow for the rest to come through. Playing a little bit of slow links, though, is the spearhead of this one. Almost has the ult up and ready to work with as well. Goes for the spray for the smoke. Can't quite connect. That's almost a miracle because those bullets were swimming right by the ears of the opposition.
But again, just a little bit of a hesitation. You got to imagine if they started to make this push just 5 seconds ahead of when they actually opted to, they would have been in a position to deny that res. But because the res actually comes in there, and as a reminder, this is why we kind of see so many stingers, because stinger just finds so much value. But oh no, in what feels like utter disaster, Grind has actually been allotted to go ahead and rotate around and potentially find a great angle onto the members of FPOV, but he's got to be careful because he is all alone over here.
Exactly. The number one rule of playing the flank role is you cannot go down. Get as much info as you can, try and keep them at bay, but if you fall here, you make it so hard for your team to try and go out and make something happen. As shots fired from the cross once again, Grind trying to deny the push on through the other way, but this is a nice reaction play from FLOORPOV, realizing, great, if he's on the flank and we make an aggressive play forward now, if we can get to the other two before the flank comes to assist, we actually have a 3v2 in our favor. So a smart little attempt there for FLOORPOV, but also a nice disengage from Alliance to go back, realizing the pusher is coming through.
Still, nobody has picked up that initial Mandelbrick, by the way. Still getting information that only 2 teams are even in the center of the map in general, anywhere near that Mandelbrick, but Grind is starting to feel the pressure from all of the utility that is starting to rain in from the likes of FPOV. That being said, the Stinger smoke does come out from the side of FPOV, and they go ahead and opt to take the zip line across over towards the Hudson area. And with Grind in this specific situation, he's going to be seeing all of this kind of unfold in front of him. So the information is, of course, going to be had by the likes of Alliance. Now, the only question to be begged here of them is, what are you guys going to do with this position up here on the bridge? Only 12 minutes remaining, and still nobody has picked up the Mandelbrick.
No one's picked up the brick. No one's been eliminated. It's a quiet start to this one once again. Oh, I say quiet. At least Alliance and FLOORPOV gave us a little bit of excitement to kick things off. Limited what teams have been able to fight in terms of loot as well. We have had 0 reds collected as far as I'm aware, and no one's opted to go for the Mandelbrick just yet. But did see, I believe it was Juvela able to take down the boss in and around their center, and the Hawk tanks have gone out as well. So it is, I mean, as free for the taking as can be.
You can see WLG are kind of opting to go ahead and jump into the water and potentially make a little bit of a weird rotation here to potentially catch off the likes of Alliance. That being said, it is going to be worth noting that, you know, over the course of the next 4 games, there is a win condition for a single team here. There's a couple of win conditions for the Team Alliance. Obviously, if you pick up 2 Mandelbricks and you win, no questions asked. But if you were the only team with a single Mandelbrick, then you also win, right? Because no other team can kind of compete with you on the leaderboard. So if Team Alliance can actually play across all of these last 4 games, game 4, 5, 6, and 7, to actually just deny the Mandelbrick from any team from capturing it, then they'll win as well. So 2 different ways for Team Alliance to kind of win right now, just straight outright.
Okay, I'm going to play the devil's advocate here then. What would you say is more difficult? Get 1 Mandelbrick, or for Alliance from now, right? Get a Mandelbrick in a round, or be the ones to deny anyone getting a Mandelbrick for 4 rounds?
I would say it'd be harder to deny a Mandelbrick
that's
for
what
4
I was
rounds.
thinking. That's gotta be
for sure.
That's gotta be it's gotta be a tall order, but definitely, I mean, a viable strategy should be able to. Oh, Lynx, had he set just a smidge higher, that would have been free for selling, but was able to crouch just below the crosshair there.
Yeah, all 3 members of WLG are pretty much in this little bit of an area over here. These shots are going to land eventually.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like it's just a matter of time. There's really no way for Team Alliance to kind of pick up on the fact that there's a team staring them down right now. That being said, the shots have to land, because if Selen shoots like 1 or 2 and they miss, then Lynx is going to be gone, and obviously their position is going to be revealed just on the back foot of missing some shots. That being said, man, if you're a team like NBA, let's go ahead and bring up the point that they did go ahead and come into this Space City with full gold armor.
Yeah.
If they don't make anything happen with this gold armor, and let's just say they fail to extract as well, then that has been an utter waste. And by the way, some shots actually just landed onto Oko. I'm not sure which team actually shot his way. It could have been NBA over there on the ramp. You can kind of get a couple of jump peeks over. Or maybe it was Team Alliance. I think it was NBA, so not the side that they are currently staring at.
The good thing for Alliance right now is that I think they're selling the fake of them being 3 there pretty well to WLG, because Grind, I mean, we saw him go on the flank across the other bridge earlier in the fight against FPOV. He has yet to join up with his teammates. Only now does he actually make his way over there. So, had WLG realized that they were in a potential 3v2, of course, it is them pushing across the open bridge there, but there would have been a world where they could have made something happen as FPOV. They have said, you know what, enough of the south side fights. If no one's going to take the brig, at least we're going to try and go contest.
That being said, we are seeing Fnatic kind of in the mix of the center of the map as well. I think they're actually up top in the CEO office, so a little bit deceptive there on the map. It looks like they're going for the mana brick, but since there are so many levels to the map of Space City, again, it can kind of be a little bit weird to look down at the map. But the likes of FPOV making their way towards the center of the map, and the fact that they have a Tempest in their hand, means that I would imagine that they go ahead, they pop their Tempest thought, and they go ahead right back to the Centrifuge and Buoyancy decoding station. Boldo, though, jumps up on this angle once more and finds some shots to land onto the side of WLG. That's going to be Oko going down there. But again, you can see him kind of just chucking nades off in the distance, trying to go ahead and pick up that knock, that full kill. But it's very, very difficult for him to do so. And as you can see, Scooby is going to go ahead and find the res there.
More of an info knock, if anything, but can be equally worthwhile, as here comes the Tempest running on forward. Obsessed is going to run on in, try and see if he can get it. It looks like he's going to be completely uncontested. I say that NBA does come looking, but nope, not quite. And finally, 10 minutes into the round, the Mandelbrick has been picked up by FLOORPOV.
Yeah, and like I mentioned it, because of where they are Tempest ulting from, they can pretty much just run right over to the station that is close by and go ahead and put it in. All right, finally on Space City, we have the Mandelbrick not only picked up, but also put down into the decoding station. As a quick reminder, our teams are no longer notified on whether or not, hold my thoughts, after Team FPOV actually put that Mandelbrick in, they find themselves a giant red as well. But I was going to say that all of our teams are not notified on whether or not the team that just put the mana brick into the decoding station is a team that actually already has a captured mana brick. It used to be the case, but that is no longer so. So all of our teams right now could be thinking, hey, is this Team Alliance that just put this mana brick in? Like, do we have to go ahead and try to stop this to the best of our ability?
Yeah. I actually kind of like this, because we've seen it before, but as you were saying, where teams just didn't really feel the need to go and play aggressive because they knew there wasn't going to be a big loss potentially off of it. But now it kind of forces them to second guess that initial thought a bit more and go aggressive, should they care, or dare, I should say. It's NBA. They're just running in circles around it. No one's there defending. You know what? Thank you, FLOORPOV, for just getting it started. They got it started. They immediately left the building because they know there's always a big fight happening right off the start. And then they kind of give it over to Mandelbrick Addiction.
Yeah, the game plan will probably be pretty obvious from the side of FPOV. They have the Tempest, so they can go ahead and just pop that ult and try to run at the decoding station. That being said, if only NBA are kind of on top of the mana brick itself, I think they'll be pretty likely to go ahead and deny that Tempest ult from making its way even over to the decoding station. From the likes of Fnatic, they've been playing pretty passively. They're still trying to look around the map, look for some information. I think they caught whim of the team of WLG making their way across the center of the map. He should have just seen one of those members go ahead and hop on that zip line over there. So they do know a team is coming from their north. But again, who cares where WLG are at right now, man? We got a Mandelbrick being decoded, and there's only 2 minutes and 30 seconds before that one is successfully captured from the likes of NBA. Again, we're kind of in a similar situation as we were on Brakkesh, where the match timer and the decoding timer are so close that the margins, they're not going to be extremely large at all for our teams to actually make something happen and actually walk out of this one with the Mandelbrick captured.
Exactly. Oftentimes we see the a long time with no bricks being contested, and all of a sudden it changes hands like 4 times in 1 minute. But that also just plummets the decoding time, because obviously it takes off 30 seconds every time it's reset, all the way down to 130, and really speeds up the lobby. So let's see now that FLOORPOV have made their presence known again out here towards the brick. So we're closing down on 1 minute 30, just 145 as you sent the dagger through the wall. Not able to do a whole lot of damage with it, but we're starting to see these players get a little more anxious around the Mandelbrick itself.
You can see right there, I mean, the game plan from FPOV, they just want to pop the Tempest and what, run out of an open door with her to go ahead and make your way over to the decoding station? That's never going to work, right? There's not enough pressure being applied by some of our other teams as it currently stands to make NBA kind of think twice about that. And take a look at this. A similar game plan from the likes of FLC, and NBA just immediately shut that down. By the way, this is very, very cool. Somebody took out the boss and did so by not shooting her helmet. One of the members of NBA are actually wearing that red helmet from the boss, Des Mulens.
1.3 mil
kind of to
as
note
well.
right there as well.
Exactly. An expensive helmet to be fielding, that you're saving for the value, but no, of course, has a lot more value on server. Nice catch on that one, as we see ults being deployed now. Everyone contesting forward, down to 45 seconds left. Mandelbrick still has it under control. Nice nade for the James, able to find the double on FLC.
Great work there from Jam to go ahead and open things up. But take a look at this. Kobe is going to go ahead and find a return frag right there. There is a little bit of a fight going on between the likes of FLC and Team Fnatic. But take a look at the center of their screen. The Mandelbrick is going to be seized in just 30 seconds. NBA have successfully defended across the likes of Grind, trying to go ahead and jump into the action here. A couple of shots start to get exchanged here, and that's going to be easy, finding one of the return frags onto Buldo. So now the team that is in control of the Mandelbrick, they only have 2 members left remaining. You can see for the likes of one of them, they've jumped onto the coding station. This is an all-in approach from the likes of NBA. 5 seconds remaining, all gold armor. Utility is raining in. A couple of seconds before they secure it, does one of them stay alive? Skitey does it with a sliver of HP. He stays alive with 15% HP. And NBA walk away with a Mandelbrick on our first Space City.
And as soon as the brick comes to an end, the kill feed lights up like a Christmas tree. What an insane couple of seconds we just had there. We lose along the lines of 8 players in the span of 15 seconds, as everyone was either fighting at the decoding station itself or trying to make their way towards it. And that's really what works out the best for Mandelbrick Addiction in this particular case, is the fact that, I mean, everyone was so busy fighting one another, trying to just get there, that they ended up taking out one another and themselves before they even had a chance to try and decode it themselves.
Skitey, the last remaining member of our team that just picked up a Mandelbrick, is trying to stay alive here. He is just a solo now. And he does kind of go ahead and thwart the efforts of FPOV on the back foot of them using their Tempest ult, but now they're just going to go ahead and jump out. They're going to start to apply way too much pressure here. Surely he can't stay alive, right? Blake takes a lot of damage. He jumps around the corner and he goes down. And Skitey gets the kill. That alone is worth it. 800,000 alloy and a point on the leaderboard as well.
No way.
And with Skitey kind of holding off FPOV, take a look at this. WLG actually joined in on the fight and made FPOV kind of think twice, but they've gone ahead and opted to try to go ahead and switch up the approach here. But you can see the hesitation is there as well. Yersei is trying to go ahead and peek his head out. But he's very, very worried because Skitey has already proven that he can land the shots. So you got to be careful.
His vest is completely busted. He's running around with 13 bullets, and in the end, he will be eliminated. Jame again on point with the nades. So they got a double just before. Now finds one as well as Fnatic starts pushing on forward. They're down the bottom of the leaderboard. They need some points going for them. But it's FLOORPOV holding the door here. Really good job on their part to deny this push come through.
Yeah, they're trying to make something happen here. Again, this is going to be a little bit of a 2v2 with a third party coming in from the likes of WLG as FPOV. Yersei, he goes down at the same exact time. Bane does as well. So now the likes of Fnatic and FPOV both left with just a single member remaining. WLG joining the fray just a little bit late, have the numbers advantage. They have 3 total kills already. and they want to go ahead and pick up more. They know the member is kind of stuck in this corner, and somehow, someway, actually raid bull on the Gizmo. The Spiders find enough damage right there to go ahead and take out Obsessed. So WLG were trying to go ahead and apply the pressure to pick that kill up, but it's going to be denied. And Raid Bull is going to be pretty content with picking up that last kill there. He's going to try to go ahead and run away, but Oko knows the game plan there. He's trying to go ahead and deny him from kind of escaping his clutches, and with only a second remaining, he's trying to go ahead and spray and pray right there. Not able to go ahead and sniff out the last remaining member from Team Fnatic, but the investment was in from the likes of NBA. They brought in all of the gold armor, and it paid off as they're going to be picking up a Mandelbrick of their own.
Huge round for Mandelbrick Addiction. Again, a team that a lot of fans and viewers had their eyes on for going out and getting big things done. They didn't have the strongest start to week one, but here they come back and as ready as ever to go out and make big things happen here in the first Space City game, which, surprise, surprise, also had 0 players extracting.
Our best team is, of course, going to be Mandelbrick Addiction. 5 kills, 1,600 damage. And then, of course, that beloved Mandelbrick being decoded from these guys. It took a little while to actually get things going there on Space City, but eventually it all kind of popped up. Let's go ahead and take a look at how all of our teams kind of individually performed. Again, Mandelbrick Addiction, of course, going to be the breadwinners here in game number 4. Fnatic close behind them with 6 kills. By the way, an incredible effort from them. And then for some of our other teams, the only real highlight there from Team FLOORPOV was that they were able to go ahead and pick up one of those big reds. But break down some of the individual performances here, Toby.
Yeah, exactly. And Skitty, not only do they get the Mandelbrick, but he was so instrumental in securing the win. They're staying alive as the last couple of players on the team were getting punished as the push was coming on through. And not only that, but afterwards getting himself another 2 kills as a solo was incredible. 1,100 damage done on him is absolutely incredible.
Taking a look at some of the assists here. Team Fnatic, Bane, he's going to be up there. Oko, Bulldo as well from the likes of MBA. The top asset earners are, of course, going to be Blake. We did, again, see him kind of pick up one of those big reds that was worth 2 million, which is why the difference in some of our top asset earners is just so different right there. But our MVP, no surprise, it's going to be Skitty here. He himself was able to pick up 4 out of the 5 kills that NBA in general were able to go ahead and pick up. And then I think NBA also, what did they do, like 1,500, 1,600 damage? He did like 1,100 of that. So as an individual, Skitty was just popping off throughout, and that's why he's the most valuable player there in game number 4.
And honestly, I feel like you could remove all the kills, remove all the damage, and you still deserve the MVP just off of how he managed to dodge and weave all that util that came in towards them last second and actually was able to secure Mandelbrick Addiction that Mandelbrick. Because as we know, if the team gets eliminated, the timer gets paused on it, it's all the way down towards the bottom. So really, really big place, not only in terms of mechanical playing and taking out opponents, but also staying alive for Skitty to secure that Mandelbrick for NBA.
All right, without a doubt, we're going to be going into game number 5 with 2 teams on match point. The opportunity now for both the likes of Team Alliance and Mandelbrick Addiction to kind of end this competition early with a single Mandelbrick kind of captured of their own. That being said, none of our other teams are out of this competition because there are a lot of games still left to play, and any one of them could pick up 2 Mandelbricks of their own. We'll have to see how this one kind of pans out before we jump into game number 5. Let's go to a short break.
Now the odds are in their favor, 2v1. Everything getting spammed away, and MT getting a little solo. Hang on a second, NL. Look at that. It's an absolute sweat. This. And Elixir's got to know that they're here. Lines them up, even through the shot. You're nuts. For the last remaining 3 BOV, they find 2 instant knocks. The Helm's going to be hopping out for that.
I'll get you out of here.
Got the Mandelbrick. Find it. Stop them. Mandelbrick decoded. Nice work, operator.
The time to strike is now. Do not let me down, operator.
Decoding has begun. Defend the area.
Is about to take the first Mandelbrick of the tournament. And they're going to do it.
What goes around, comes around.
Oh, not gonna do very much though. You get barrel stuff. Skydie is getting aggressive.
See what I did there? You ain't seen nothing yet.
Let's knock them off their feet.
There we go. Down from there it is.
Alliance got themselves the first Mandelbrick of the day, and now Mandelbrick Addiction joins them up on top of the leaderboard with a Mandelbrick of their own over in Space City. Welcome back, everyone, to the Rise series here. Group B versus D, as we see the leaderboard here, Vivid, with NBA taking first place over Alliance.
Yeah, great work there from the likes of NBA. I mean, they've constantly been towards the one of the teams that have had, you know, the middle of the pack for some of those squad points. But after game number 4, they're picking up their own Mandelbrick, jumping up in terms of having the most amount of squad points. It's going to put them in first place. Again, Alliance are going to be in second place because they also have a Mandelbrick, but they're being beaten out by NBA in terms of those squad points. But still a lot to kind of play for as we're going to be approaching here game number 5 as we jump back into Space City. A quick reminder, both Team Alliance and NBA could end this competition early if they're able to pick up their second Mandelbrick. We will not go to Game 6 or Game 7 if they're able to do so. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the operators that are still available for some of our teams.
Keep in mind, I mean, I should say, I mean, Alliance having a Mandelbrick coming into that first Space City, they opted to not go for a Tempest, not go for a Luna, not go for a Stinger either in their first Space City. So they clearly didn't play this previous round in a like meta-heavy way in terms of trying to come out and win the whole thing. So look to see them go out and use those exact 3 or close there to at least 2 of the 3 in this next upcoming round. The same thing to be said for Fnatic.
I do want to go ahead and note here that I was thinking about it. I went ahead and confirmed with myself. Team Alliance and Team Mandelbrick came into the day, by the way, on that group stage leaderboard. Both of them were in last place. They were pretty much tied for last place in 11th and 12th place. If we would have ended the competition after just week number 1, they would have been relegated from the competition. They would have had no opportunity to make it to the finals. Obviously, they only played one time last weekend, which is why, they were potentially so low on the leaderboard. But we kind of came into it. We were like, listen, Team Alliance, Team Mandelbrick Addiction, they both got to make something happen. And so far, being both of the teams to pick up with the Mandelbrick and towards the top of the leaderboard, they're doing just that.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. And the way in which they did so here in that previous one as well, too, looked really, really good. Alliance now with a chance to hop on that West Gate tier 1 spawn. Again, comes with a bit of danger because the tier 3 spawn just north of it tends to put a lot of pressure early on down towards it. but a good chance for them to make something big happen here, which also makes me believe that they're going to invest everything into try and seal the deal here.
Yep, without a doubt, would not be surprised myself. I feel like there's a lot of opportunity in this type of lobby to just kind of catch everybody off guard. So far, in all 4 of our games, it feels like the first 10 minutes have been so passive. I want to see one of these teams come out swinging. Just go ahead, pull out the Tempest. As soon as you're able to pop that ultimate around the 16-minute mark, just go ahead and go for the Mandelbrick and go ahead and put it into a decoding station, right? Try to catch all of these other teams off guard. That could potentially be the way to secure yourself a Mandelbrick. That being said, these guys know what they're talking about. They have practice for this one. Let's go ahead and take a look at where some of our teams kind of spawn. Team Alliance are over here in the Sands area, just off to the east of the Central Command building. And early on for me, I am seeing that they brought out that most popular comp, by the way, the Stinger, the Luna, the Tempest. But they also brought in full gold armor for everyone.
It's going to be called it. They're up there trying to make a big thing happen. And again, I mean, focus on Westgate early on. 2 of 3 got across, but Jex is still kind of stuck behind the truck here. Trying to make a run to safety, but I think he's out of yield, so just going to make the dry run. Oh, just exactly swings the corner.
Very, very close margins here in game number 5 already. And I asked for it, man. I was like, just come out swinging, and already with some opportunities like that from the likes of NBA, potentially making something happen. But this is exactly what I wanted to be. I said, listen, I want you to come out swinging, but unfortunately, the return is going to come out from the likes of Fnatic. While Scooby was actually down here picking up the Mandelbrick, Fnatic went ahead and pushed one of his teammates. That's going to be Sellen going down. And Scooby almost went down as well. He was very, very low. So Fnatic have all the information. They know where WLG are at, but they also have the numbers advantage. But hold up. We've got another fight kind of going on. This is going to be FPOV. They're going to be pushing the dormitory area. This is a very rare push. But that being said, it's already panned off as they were able to go ahead and pick up one of the knocks onto NBA. And on the back foot of FPOV pushing NBA, FLC have kind of returned to play some of these angles as well.
What a nice feeling of getting revenge on that one for FLC. Nice backman, as you said, kind of an unorthodox push come through here for FLOORPOV and backfilling towards the west behind NBA after they heard the shots fired there early on. Realized we're not going to be the first ones on the brick anyway. Might as well try and see if we can flank around the western side. And my oh my have succeeded in doing exactly that. NBA down to just the 2 as Scooby now spotting one through the staircase up above, but couldn't quite find the knock.
Very, very low here. He's trying to go ahead and fend off the push from Team Alliance. Toxic Alt is going to do just that. As you can see, top right, though, unfortunately for the likes of NBA, they have been fully wiped off of the map. They will not be playing anymore throughout the game number 5 here. Unfortunately, they're just going to have to sit back, relax, and potentially watch Team Alliance just win the whole thing. Take a look at this. Team Alliance have actually picked up the Mandelbrick, and they're kind of thinking about where do we want to take this thing. It looks like they're looking over towards employee passage number 2 and potentially taking this one all the way over to the Sands building or the Central Command building just off to the east of it where that decoding station is. Pretty much exactly where they spawned.
Yeah, I mean, off of a tier 3 spawn, being able to just kind of, you know, casually stroll on in, knit yourself a Mandelbrick and make the run off now. Not going to be complaining about that whatsoever as they transition over the pipes.
Oh, no.
Oops. That's, there you go.
Oh, they're still going to go for it. They're still going to go for it. Ooh. Team Fnatic are trying to go ahead and mow them down. They know they have to cross across this. And actually, 2 of the members, Easy and Grind, they go ahead and successfully make their way all the way across. But Lynx is going to go ahead and abandon ship. He's going to jump into the water there. So we'll be able to join up with his team in just a short while. But Team Alliance are going to be able to put the Mandelbrick in. It was Easy on that Tempest that made it across first, across those pipes. So he had the Mandelbrick in hand, and he goes ahead and puts it in. All right, Team Alliance, they could technically end things here in game number 5 if they're able to secure this Mandelbrick.
Undoubtedly the earliest brick we've seen placed in the decoder. Do you think all the teams now... I mean, what would your immediate thought be that it's them on it, going for it? Or is it just another team hoping for a quick pickup?
Yeah, I feel like only 2 of our teams on the map right now, FPOV and Team FLC, know that it can't be NBA because they were kind of joining forces and finding some of those knocks. But they could, you know, have the information, or I don't think they could have the information that this is Team Alliance. Like, there's no way for any of our teams to kind of know. So it's going to be pretty much a gamble if any of your teams are going to be thinking about, hey, you know, this isn't Team Alliance. You guys don't know that. You got to make a play for it. But take a look at this. I mean, WLG, FLC, Fnatic, they're all in the center of the map. They don't look like they're interested in moving towards this at all.
Exactly.
And I feel like Team Alliance could fend off FPOV in a 3v3 pretty easily here when they're the ones kind of being aggressed on. This could be a Mandelbrick for Team Alliance.
Imagine if they... I mean, they're obviously not going to be getting it for free. But because, I mean, again, usually when you're up one break, you kind of play it a bit safer in the early game, let the other teams determine which decoding station you go for, and then as the fight start erupting, you join in on the party a little late because you don't want to risk it all too soon. So for Alliance to have gone for it so quickly, I like to imagine that maybe teams don't think it would be them, just based on what I just said. I mean, the fact that usually the team that is already up one, they played a bit slower.
I mean, you can see Fnatic have actually opted to go ahead and cross that eastern suspension bridge. So they are going to be making their way over here. That being said, it's going to take them a short while to do that. And with only 2 minutes remaining now on this Mandelbrick, let's go ahead and take a look at the comp here for the team that is closest to being able to deny this one. It's going to be Team FPOV. They've got an Luru, a Shepherd, and a Toxic. So honestly, not a really good comp for them to kind of run out into the open towards this sands area and try to make something happen. I mean, I'm pretty much just looking for Tempest ults to kind of disrupt this decoding station as it currently stands. And unfortunately, FBOV do not have a Tempest.
Exactly. Oh, well, if anything, they got a whole lot that can delay Alliance. Just shoot two teams join into the party at the same time. There's a lot of utility in the hands of FLOORPOV that could potentially impact the fight and go against Alliance in that regard. But we're down to 1 minute 20. No one properly taking a fight just yet. WLG now up on those same pipes that we saw Alliance getting shot at from just moments ago, considering crossing on over. And Fnatic, Jam is slowly making his way north here. But of course, they got to clear every angle as they make their way further forward. 1 minute on the timer now. Alliance with a chance to finish the day right here.
You can see Team Alliance are trying to go ahead and prevent one of the rotations from coming in across the employee passage number 2. They're going to be noting that a full team has actually been able to make its way across. That being said, Team Alliance have almost done everything that they've needed to. There's 40 seconds remaining, and you can see they're kind of actually converging on the Mandelbrick itself and kind of just grouping up, because they're going to essentially just play to defend this with their lives, with their bodies.
For sure, this is an all-in for them. They got everything they need in order to make this happen, but there's 3 teams surrounding them. But this is the issue again. No one is daring to go. No one is daring to take the risk of falling to save the lobby effectively, to allow for them to play for one more day. 15 seconds left on the time, and now finally we got to run them through, but it's just Selen making the run alone. Grind, those get eliminated, but we're down to 7 seconds. Alliance are going to be doing it right here, right now. No one daring to be the first movers, and thus Alliance gets the double break.
Yeah, great work from Team Alliance to just run towards the center of the map, pick up the Mandelbrick, and be like, listen, this whole lobby, they're playing way too scared. Let's just go put the Mandelbrick in, man, and we'll probably win off of that. And sure enough, they do. Everybody very, very hesitant. And on the back foot of that, yeah, Team Alliance are just going to secure it. A 4-minute decode comes in. Super rare in competitive Delta Force for nobody to even steal it a single time. And it was just that. It was time that made the difference. There was just no time for any of our teams to actually make anything happen.
Vivid, you say that, but there was 3 teams like on each their side of the position for like a solid minute. But I think the thing is, no one, I mean, speaking of how passive teams played in the previous rounds, no one wants to take the risk of what if we fail and we fall, you know? Well, sure, you might fall, but that means you get a chance in the next round. Now you've just voided yourself of any chance playing anymore today, because Alliance got the whole thing because no one dared to make a move.
Yeah, first and second place, by the way, is completely locked in. Like those 2 teams, Alliance, first place no matter what happens. NBA or second place no matter what happens. Now, for the last 4 remaining teams, technically they can kind of shift around the leaderboard here, as we're going to take a look at Lynx, kind of pick up one of these victory lap kills here, and he almost picks up a 3-piece in a matter of like 4 seconds. If that nade lands, could do a lot of damage right there. It does go ahead and chip away some of the health of some of the members of Fnatic, but the reset here for Lynx. Is he going to get this res off? No way, right?
That'd be insane. It would be an insane commit. Not only do they win the game, but now they get to add more points to the overall leaderboard as well. Of course, it's not just a standalone day of games. You have an overall leaderboard that you're playing towards as well. to get as much going as you possibly can. As Fnatic here, they want to get Jam back on his feet because, of course, they're now all fighting for that third place spot with no one down there being able to pick up any Mandelbrick. So it's a big fight coming through because look at how close they are on their scores. 18, 16, and then double 15s.
Yeah, these teams can definitely jump into that third place spot no matter if where they currently stand on the leaderboard. So still something to be played for here for all 4 of our teams. It's going to be all about the kills, as they're going to be 1 single point each towards their squad points, which is of course going to be the difference maker. But the aggression is coming in from the likes of WLG on the back foot of the Toxic Alt landing. Scooby was very, very low right there, but he jumps out in the open anyway, and Bane is going to be knocked on the back foot of him playing very, very aggressive. The return frag comes in from Raid Bull, but it's going to be him on the Tempest Alt being knocked, so he's going to be sent all the way back to his initial location. But it's going to give WLG the opportunity to go ahead and reset to a full 3-man roster, and they're going to have a 3v1 up against the last remaining member of Fnatic. But take a look at this in the central command building. FPOV, they've got a wipe of their own. That was them versus FLC, and they come out the victors of that one.
Exactly. Fnatic still up in first place, but they get -1 for the elimination. So now we got a 3-way tie at 17. No, make it FPOV so passing, enabling an 18-point position. Get one more. Now tied once again, and they're surpassing once more. They're jumping back and forth continuously, taking turns sitting in third place for a second at a time. WLG and FLOORPOV really, really close right now. Completely tied on the board. My, oh my.
By the way, Lynx did actually manage to drag Easy all the way away to a safe position to pick up this res. So Team Alliance, they're back to 2 members. They're back to a duo.
I mean,
but it doesn't really matter, right, Toby? Like they already won. It doesn't matter
you say
what
this,
happens.
but for them it doesn't really matter. But imagine the impact that they can now have and who gets to get third. You know, like they're still 2 up. They have literally nothing to lose. Just go in here and be a nuisance. I think that's the play here, as we see more eliminations, more knocks coming through. FPV up to 20 points so far. WLG, though, trying to take the fight in return. Obsess is down to low HP, and he has a teammate knocked already. So there's a chance for WLG to claw back in it.
Yeah, Blake actually found an initial knock onto one of the members of WLG. So Yersey was trying to get aggressive, trying to go ahead and deny that res. But with a little bit of help, that res is actually going to be getting denied, as Lynx has kind of rejoined the action right here, as has the likes of Easy. But unfortunately for him, he's going to be getting knocked. And now it's going to be once more just Lynx to be the solo for the likes of Team Alliance. But you mentioned it. Yeah, Team Alliance, they can't boost themselves up the leaderboard anymore because they're in first place regardless, but they can kind of play disruptor. They can try to deny some of these points from some of these other teams. And with that flank coming in from the side of Alliance, they're pretty much going to be denying that third place spot from WLG, as with 2 of their members down, it's going to be pretty hard for them to kind of do anything here.
Oh yeah, definitely. But yeah, I mean, it's a long season, right? In Alliance, I mean, a lot of these points go over. So for Alliance, they can really make enemies and friends, I suppose, of the lobby that they're in right now for the weeks of play to come. Depending on how they choose to play this, but of course being down to just the 2 here and running further towards the center, looks like they're outing themselves a bit out of this fight. Have we actually had an entire day now at this point without a single extraction? I guess we have.
That's a good point.
We have had a whole broadcast without a single extraction. That is. I mean, I probably figured it was going to happen eventually in my Delta Force casting career. I did not think it was going to happen this soon.
Yeah, crazy. Teams have just been sending it to the last seconds. Remember, FPOV, I don't think they know where they're at on the leaderboard, so they still want to kind of make this count, which is why they're trying to play very passively. We kind of have the information on the leaderboard here, but take a look at this. Lynx is still playing spoiler. Unfortunately for the likes of FPOV, they're fighting for third place right now, but they have just lost one of their members to Lynx, who is basically just playing for fun at this point, playing to just deny some of these points, and he is having a blast.
It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Remember, they lose points whenever they fall, so FLOORPOV, while they're up 2 right now, and the WLG is just as Selen left alive, there is a weird world where Selen actually manages to surpass and go into third, but it's not going to be easy at all, as he gets himself the double, the full wipe, as Lynx takes out the entirety of FLOORPOV.
And take a look at the live leaderboard on the left side. FPOV went all the way down to last place. They were in third.
No
but it was the value
way.
in all of the gear that they had, right? It was kind of contributing to their total stash value, kind of giving them some pseudo points. But because as soon as they went down, they effectively lost all of that value, and they lost so many points from it. And now, Selling here, if he's able to just run all the way over to the backpack extract and extract with some of this loot that he has, he might end up in third place.
Correct me if I'm wrong here, if Seller doesn't manage to extract and he loses one, FLC, who has been dead for, I mean, a good while now, they jump in to third.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah, I think they will. Yep.
Without knowing. Like, they will literally not know what has happened, other than the fact that they were in fourth, or fifth, I should say, and somehow end up in third just because everyone else is dying around them after they've been eliminated. That's hilarious.
Lynx is kind of running around the map right now, trying to...
Oh, you heard the arrow.
Kind of see what's going on. Yeah, Selling here. If he picks up this kill, this will pretty much secure him third place without a doubt. But take a look at his POV in the bottom right. He is interested in seemingly one thing and one thing only, and that's just running towards the backpack. But Lynx might have the same exact idea here. Now, it does take 10 seconds to actually make your way out of that extract. If any one of these scavs shoot at Selin, it's going to delay his rotate, and then Lynx is going to get the information that he's ahead of him.
Also, Selin has been the player that's been eliminated early for WLG every single time. Would be so fitting that he's the one that gets to bring them into that third place in the end of the day. So nice. Let's see. Well, he makes the run for the entrance. There is the smoke deployed. I'm not sure if Lynx is outside of audible range to hear the dagger being thrown. I think he might have been, because the extract will come through. My, oh my. They actually make it into third WLG, all thanks to Lynx picking up a 1v3 on FLOORPOV. That is insane.
Yeah, Lynx had kind of stopped running right there because he was thinking about just waiting in tow for somebody to kind of run his way. But that being said, Lynx is the last remaining member on the map. And as a result of them picking up match point via 2 Mandelbrick secured, we're going to be seeing the aerial support kind of fly in to denote the win here for Team Alliance. This is a special little thing that happens when one of our teams is able to go ahead and win the competition early and still be alive on the map. So we're seeing the helicopters to kind of help Lynx celebrate here. But Lynx had a victory lap of his own that kind of celebrated enough.
I mean, he had a victory lap, and then he ran another victory lap, and then he took an entire team and took a third victory lap. This man was all showboating for the last 10 minutes of this game. What an incredible finish for Alliance. As you said, Vivid, they were all the way down the bottom of the leaderboard at the end of week 1, but what a turnaround here on day 1 of week 2.
Cannot wait to have the opportunity to talk to one of their members. Lynx is going to be extracting from the map here. You can see, come on, man, we gotta get it. We gotta get a reaction here. A fist bump,
He's so calm.
Smile, maybe. But yeah, no, you can see for the likes of Team Alliance, we're like, hey, man, I don't know what the other teams were doing. We were able to pick up 2 Mandelbricks, and they're gonna be pretty happy with their performance here on just the second time that we have seen them on the big stage. You mentioned it. Yeah, week number 1 with them was rough. They were all the way in last place, but after today's performance, they're going to fly up the leaderboard. They are the best team in game number 5 without a doubt. Of course, they had 5 kill points, 1200 damage, but it's all about that decoded Mandelbrick, as that was their second of the day.
Huge, absolutely huge. And you know what's fitting as well? The last game, the last 2 players are our first extracts of the day. I kind of wish Selin hadn't extracted, just so that the only extract was the winning MVP extract at the end of the day. Would have been such a cool way to finish it all off. But Lynx, 5 kills in this match, 3 of them coming against FPOV, set right behind him on the board here too in the final moments of the game.
Let's take a look at some of our top damagers. Lynx, by the way, I mentioned it. Their team as a whole had 1,200. He himself has 1,000 of that. So an incredible individual performance there from Lynx. As we go through some of these stats here, we can see Blake was kind of in the mix, helping his team out, Oko, and as was Obsessed. I mean, FPOV, I think they were able to pick up a total of 6 kills. So No surprise to see a couple of their members up here kind of helping out. They themselves get some of those kills. The top assets earner, it's going to be Lynx. Again, he's able to kind of extract. Yersei there for FPOV. And then Selin as well. You kind of mentioned it, making his way out through Backpack to hopefully secure third place for the likes of one of their teams. But the MVP of game number 5, it's going to be Lynx. Just 5 kill points, 1,042 damage, 900 assets gained.
Absolutely huge performance. Not just 5 kills, but the impact all those had. He pretty much went in and full Bob Ross painted the leaderboard at the end of the day as he so wished. What an incredible finish. And correct me if I'm wrong, wait, was it Lynx that got the rest in the very end of it, or was he the one to get rest by a teammate?
No, he was the one that was resing Easy, who
so he did that as well. Yeah,
Easy went down shortly after, but
he was Superman, Iron Man, and Batman at the same time in that game. That was, I mean, absolutely incredible playing coming through from Lynx.
Yep, without a doubt. So Team Alliance do it all today. They end our competition early, just in game number 5. As a quick note here, guys, follow DeltaForce_game across all socials. And if you want to download it, go to playdeltaforce.com as well. Listen, you saw all of the fun that we had today, so I'm sure you want to kind of jump into all of the action yourselves.
Definitely. We do have one more giveaway to give away here. The final one, your chance to win Delta tickets. This is your chance to win 3,000 Delta ticket game keys. If you're watching this on Twitch, on YouTube, on TikTok, Facebook, simply type !giveaway. I've seen a lot of you guys doing it in chat already. That's fantastic. Keep on doing it. !giveaway in the chat to enter. If you're watching on X, just repost the live stream and you are in the consideration for this one as well. We'll be announcing the winners on the chat on Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook. If you're watching X, we'll announce the winners in the comments under the live stream. So good luck, everyone. Join on in, get yourself some sweet loot, and just get hyped for more Delta Force to come.
Yep, without a doubt. Again, listen, Toby, man, we're missing out on some of these giveaways. We got to get a way to jump in. 3,000 Delta tickets. Wow, that is going to be very, very huge. Good luck to everybody kind of at home for that one. But with that being said, Toby, I think we're going to be ready with an interview from one of the members from Team Alliance.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Lynx, welcome to the broadcast. My man, what a way to finish off the day. How are you feeling after that one?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy actually. After the first Pro League game was pretty hard actually, then unlucky, and this one was good so far. I'm really proud of the boys and our team effort.
I gotta ask you real quick. I mean, obviously last week, as you say, didn't quite go your way. What have you done different? Is there anything that you've actively done different from that first week coming into this week now today?
Yeah, I don't know, we played too passive. I don't know, we did not play our usual play style we usually play, and today we stopped playing that passive like in the first Pro League day, and it worked.
Definitely did.
Listen, kind of the theme of the day here, Lynx, that we were kind of noticing was that across all 5 of the games, you're mentioning the words passive here. We felt like all 6 of the teams were actually playing pretty passive. Like, there weren't any fights happening until like the last 5 minutes on every single one of those maps. What did that feel like for you guys for Team Alliance?
Yeah, it was, I don't know, it was only a waiting game. It was, I don't know. We don't want to do the first step because we had the first brick on Brakkesh. And maybe we could have just cleaned up on the brick on the first Space City map, but yeah, that was unlucky on brick. Grind died pretty fast, and then I just died as well, and then the brick was gone. But yeah, the playstyle is way too passive, in my opinion.
Is this passive playstyle, or well, I should say getting out of passive playstyle, something that you expect to see other teams try and turn away from coming into the weeks to come? Or like, are you kind of just enjoying being there on your own right now, daring to go out and make plays, or do you expect to see some more aggression out of the other teams moving further forward into the season?
I'm pretty sure the play style will change in a more aggressive style. Pretty sure. But it's the second day of the Pro League. It's just coming in and just getting confident, and yeah, maybe nobody wants to do mistakes and stuff like this, and yeah. But I think it will change for sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, would love to know a little bit more about your team there, Lynx. Kind of break down real quickly for all of us at home to kind of how you guys delineate some like what is everybody kind of responsible for on your team?
I mean, Grind is a good IGL for sure. Easy is one of the best assault operators I've seen. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just a Recon player. I don't know. It feels we're just matching each other. It's not about Grind is only calling or Easy's just going in, just getting the kills. It's just about we're just matching. I don't know. It's feels good.
You know, I mean, it looks like it feels good. It looked good on screen as well. You guys gelling real well with one another. Looking forward to see you get even more highlight-worthy moments in the weeks to come here in the tournament. Any final shout-outs you want to do, Links, to fans, to viewers out there supporting Alliance? I've seen a lot of Alliance spam in the chat supporting you guys on from the very start of the day.
Yeah, thank you for all the support, for everyone. My relab mates, all the community, all the Delta Force community. It's fucking amazing. Yeah, it's... Thank you for all the support. Hope we can continue our wins.
Hopefully you can. And thank you, Lynx, for making what was a pretty passive day into a very entertaining one at the end of it all. Thank you so much for joining, and congratulations again to Alliance Vivid, who, I mean, he said it so perfectly, and we were kind of saying it during the day. Teams just not really daring to make plays, but it is, of course, still early days in the Rise series.
Yeah, he felt like in week number 1, they had to kind of play a little bit differently than how they did there. They felt like he was too passive themselves in week number 1. So kind of switch up that approach, went for some of these Mandelbricks here today, and it worked out. You can see Team Alliance are going to be your winners here between this match number 4 of Group B and Group D. So they're going to be picking up themselves 10 total group stage points, which will, again, will help them so much on that overall leaderboard, because they were able to pick up 8 points from being in first place and then 2 points from their Mandelbrick captures as well. But NBA are also going to be having a little bit of a surgence up the leaderboard as well, as they're able to pick up 2nd place, a Mandelbrick of their own. FLC, by the way, did end up coming out in 3rd place, WLG in 4th, Fnatic in 5th, and unfortunately for Team FPOV, it looked like they were so close to being in 3rd place at the end of the day. Yeah. But unfortunately for them, they're going to end up in 6th place, and unfortunately 0 points towards the overall leaderboard if you do find yourself in that 6th place spot.
Absolutely crazy that FLC Clan gets that 3rd place spot off of having been eliminated, 10 minutes into the game. They're just like, oh, we're done. Let's turn off the PCs. You're like, no one talking afterwards. Then they check Discord tomorrow, go like, wait, we got 3rd? What happened there? But good on them for being able to bring that one home. And this is what I love about leagues and series as compared to one-off events. We see so much evolution. Like all these teams, they get to play each other for the next couple of weeks. We get to see them evolve so much over the course of the next period of time. Already Alliance from last week to this week. We see teams within the same week do crazy things. And then, of course, I mean, fully deserved match MVP of the day here, Lynx. And incredible, playing 2100 damage, 7 kills, and of course a massive impact player on Alliance getting this win.
Yep, without a doubt. And I love the fact that, I did get the opportunity to ask him how his team kind of, delineate some of, like, dude, listen, man, nobody's kind of responsible for any one thing. Like, he just feels like they all kind of contribute in terms of making some of the calls for the IGL. Obviously, they have somebody that is kind of dedicated as their IGL, or have somebody that's dead as like the recon player. But outside of that, he just kind of said, listen, we just kind of work together, man. That's all we kind of do. It worked out here today, and the results are actually kind of in here for some of the player rankings, right? This is going to be kind of like that individual player ranking over the course of the competition. Quick reminder, we have seen every single team now play twice, so this is pretty much all fair game. True. Still going to be seeing Team Gotaga Nox up in 1st place there with 21 kills of his own. Nast is up there from Team AGARTHA with 19 as well. But yeah, that pretty much concludes match number 4 of the stage. As a quick reminder for everybody at home, we will be playing tomorrow and on Sunday on the EMEA region. We've got Group A versus Group D tomorrow. And then on Sunday, it's going to be Group B versus Group C. We'll actually be seeing Alliance once more on Sunday. So if you like what you saw here today from that team, tune in on Sunday. But that's actually not all of the Delta Force action that we have today, Toby, right? We've got America's region later on as well.
We're doing a full-on reset in just a couple of hours. Even more action-packed Delta Force coming your way. I mean, man, the weekends of July and August, they're just, you know, Delta Force weekends. That's how it is. There's nothing else to do. It's just watch Delta Force, play Delta Force, do everything you can. Yeah, looking forward to tomorrow to see Team Gotaga come in and try and see if they can not reclaim, but just maintain their first place position on the overall leaderboard after a great weekend last week.
Yep, would love to kind of see them continue on. Again, I got to mention it. Nox on the side of Team Gotaga is an absolute pleasure to watch. So seeing him kind of return to the stage tomorrow is going to be fantastic. Very, very excited to kind of jump into that. Let's go ahead and take a look at how the standings look here as it pertains to the group stage specifically. Reminder, we came into today, we were like, listen guys, the leaderboard is a little skewed because some of our teams have only played once, but now all of our teams have kind of played twice, and an absolute surgence up the leaderboard indeed from Team Alliance. They're not going to be taking down Genius or Team Gotaga in those first and second place spots, but they are now going to be in third place. So great job from Team Alliance, and also MBA are going to be going up a couple of placements as well. You can see them over there in 7th place. Unfortunately, Team FPOV and Team Fnatic, a lot of work to be done next time we see those guys up here on the big stage.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of work potentially. We'll see if that's, I mean, Alliance jumped literally, what, 1 point to 11 in a single day. And that was, I mean, according to Links, mainly them going, we already kind of knew what we had to do. We just got to stop playing so passive. Maybe for FLOORPOV and Fnatic, it's the same case of them just gotta, you know, get out of their foxholes and get ready to fight, and not play too scared into the engagements. Maybe we'll see them rise up the leaderboard as well. Because if we see other teams start going out and play daring the same way that Alliance did at the end of the day today, if just half the lobby starts doing that, we're having a whole different broadcast going on with it for the days to come.
Without a doubt. And yeah, those broadcasts, indeed, we kind of already mentioned it, but this is the 5-week-long competition. We're playing every single weekend over the course of these 5 weeks. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, matches galore across EMEA and across the Americas region. As you can see here, Alliance went ahead and took home the competition here today in match number 4. But tomorrow ahead for the EMEA region, it's match number 5. It'll be Group A versus Group D. So be sure to kind of tune in for that. And if you get the opportunity over the course of any of one of these kind of Friday, Saturday, and Sundays over the course of these weeks, go ahead and tune in, man. It is just so much fun. But that's going to be it from me here today. It was an absolute pleasure. This was actually the earliest we have ended so far at EMEA in game number 5. Outside of it, it's gone to game number 6 or game number 7. So it was great to see one of our teams go ahead and double Mandelbrick up early on. But it was great to kind of have Toby alongside me today as well. Toby, go ahead and take us home, man.
No, it's a good time, man. Lovely getting to cast with you, of course. Been watching you cast a lot in tournaments past and this tournament as well. Pleasure working with you. Looking forward to having a fun weekend with you here as well. Yeah, hopefully the teams have learned that, you know what, you might not think it's the team with one Mandelbrick that's on the Mandelbrick station again, but go over and check it out. Just for good measure, make sure you don't finish in game 5 tomorrow. We'll see if the teams come in with more ferocity or if it's going to be a passive affair once more. But with that out of the way, thanks all for tuning in for EMEA here today. There's more NA America's action coming your way later today, so hop on in for that. If not, we'll see you again tomorrow.